really been the best team in the comp. So all the pressure's on them, and going out in straight sets, like I said before, we unfortunately did that last year at Subiaco, and it's not a place you want to be in. So there's a lot on the line today for both teams, but I'm sure Jack and his Claremont crew will have them firing to go.
It was a 54-point win in the Rogers Cup just before this to East Fremantle, so they go through to the grand final. If East Fremantle can cause an upset today, it will mean it will be both Swan Districts and East Fremantle in both grades of the ATCO WAFLW grand final, the Heart Sport Rogers Cup grand final next week, but obviously Claremont stand in the way of that second fixture here today. In terms of team changes, Claremont just one in. Kyan Perry replaces the injured Jade Musica. A bit of blow for Jade Musica with that wrist injury, kicking the first goal of the final last week. She goes out, so the former Falcon and Royal in her first year at the Tigers, Kyan Perry. East Fremantle Cohen unchanged, wide change, a winning formula off the back of a elimination final win. So, and sometimes in that sense as well, like having a week off and playing every game as if it is a final win or it's a final series, but sudden death finals, it brings out the best in you. So they don't change a winning formula today in this first quarter that's coming up thanks to Kia. Quick tip from you, obviously Claremont warm favourites, but East Fremantle, you never say never.
Never say never. I think the way Claremont moved the ball should be too strong for East Fremantle, but we're about to find out.
First quarter, all thanks to Kia. Swan Districts await the winner in the grand final next week. It's the preliminary final of the ATCO WAFLW, and the two rucks go at it, Husband and also Keeley for East Fremantle. Comes down the way of Flynn. Mentioned she's the reason, essentially, they're here from last week's winning goal against South Fremantle. Comes out there to Macaulay. Macaulay's handball wanted to find Spalding. Ruby Sargent Wilson, first disposal for the Tigers. They bring it up towards this broadcast out. Here's Georgia Webb now. Georgia and Mac Webber on opposing sides today in a preliminary final. So in a way, you feel for the family, but it's exciting. They're going to have one member through to a grand final one way or another. Coming towards it now is Green. Green tried to struggle for opponent. Well done there by East Fremantle. Benefit of the doubt. Here's Flynn. First inside 50 for East Fremantle. They need a hot start as underdogs here, and they might have got that. Talk about taking last week into this week. Flynn, not a notable goal kicker before last week. She's played over 50 WAFLW games and only her third goal in a WAFLW career last week. Make that 4 now, and she's continued where she's left off.
What an outstanding start for East Fremantle. Jason, like you said, had an amazing game last week. Probably arguably in the top 5 players of the competition this year, and great bounce.
Fortune favours the brave early stages for the visitors. Jay Flynn, former Fremantle Docker. Her experience is going to be vital again today. 23 disposals and that goal last week, and also 7 tackles as well, doing it on the offensive and defensive end. So perfect start for the underdogs today, and East Fremantle on the board through Jay Flynn. We get back to the middle. Very hot start here at Redbow Fitness Stadium. Beautiful conditions here in Claremont. Here's Harkin at the coalface for Claremont. Remains in the centre circle, and umpire says I'll have it.
Great midfield battle here too, with Canane and Harkin going head-to-head, Atkins and Bullers going head-to-head as well in the middle. Some very good AFLW experience in there.
Valentini playing her 100th game today for Claremont. Congratulations to her. She's the only player in the WAFLW competition to play 100 games in the standalone WAFLW since 2019, so big congratulations to her. Here's Wilson Sieber, second ball forward for East Fremantle. Can they get back-to-back goals in a flash? There's Repacholi, got the quick handball out. Bonadeo, young state 18s star who's on the way to the state draft combine, getting involved early stages there. It was an awkward one to dive for Green, bit beyond her reach. Here comes McKay, outside of the boot, hugging the boundary line. Can they get this in East Fremantle? Desperate stuff there shown by Henderson to see it out. Well done, Claremont forced the stoppage.
Claremont got to be wary of this. East Fremantle are going to try and play that chaotic, fast game, dump it inside 50 like they've already done twice. So for Claremont, they're going to just try and find a mark and control the ball a little bit.
First boundary throw in of the afternoon.
Looks like Claremont have dropped one back here as well. Already.
Two rucks resume battle. First to Atkins. Lost her footing though at a crucial stage. Here's Hayley Bullis, been in some great form this year at the back end for Claremont. Former West Coast Eagle and Sydney Swan. She'll get it back here. 29 disposals last week in that loss. Wants to find the tall timber there of Campo, and Leslie sees it over there for East Fremantle. So another stoppage on the far side of the ground.
First bit of handball chain movement we've seen from Claremont today. That's how they like to move the ball, so be very mindful of that for East Fremantle, how to slow that down.
3-point win on this ground, back in round 13 for the Tigers after losing by 1 point initially at the Good Grocer Park under lights earlier in the year. Off a standing set go the Sharks. Bonadeo in the air once again, beaten by the experience there of Wilson Sieber. Sends it inside 50. Repacholi's on a genuine one-on-one with Hutton. The two key position players going at it. The latter won the battle amongst the battle for now. An interesting decision there from Wilstra to try and kick it up to herself, but nonetheless it's going to be in the arc. So they're pleading for insufficient intent, but not to be.
I think Bonadeo forgot that you can't have a lasso inside 50 there.
Creative stuff from Sarah Wiltshire. Trying to get it back into her arms.
Set up quite far away. I don't think the boundary umpires ever throw it in this far.
So Repacholi this time playing that forward ruck roll deep. Wilson Sieber again, another disposal for her. Now has to be quick here. Bonadeo just in the nick of time, but not great purchase on the kick. Luckily, right place, right time for the skipper and all of. Here's Harkin, first time calling her name today. The reigning Nita medalist from last year. She want to get back there this year as well. Campo trapped it up towards the region of half forward. It was an awkward one to pick up there by Sergeant Wilson. Her first year at Tigerland. She'll want to make a grand final and players dive on top.
Great addition for Claremont, Ruby has been. Sergeant Wilson adds a bit more run and complements Hayley Bullers quite well.
She was the inaugural Sydney Swans listed player listed for them back in their first AFLW season. Around the corner went the 100-gamer and Valentini. Off the deck, Ortlip. This is as far as they've got it so far, the Tigers, in this first quarter, all thanks to Kia. East Row just lost it for a moment, trying to trap it in front of themselves. Bullis again, so important in the contest. Quick kick around the corner. Ortlip probably could have marked that in the end at full stretch. Here's Seaborn, not giving up on it. Can she get it over to a skipper? She sure can. Ortlip, cavalry arrive for the Shark. Leslie has to be quick with it. Here's Mac Webb. And that ball's not going to come out anytime soon, so we'll have a stoppage deep inside 50 in the forward pocket for the home side.
Plenty of space there for Claremont though. East Round probably want to be a little bit tighter when that ball's bobbling around, because Claremont girls know very well how to find each other with that handball inside.
Campo giving up a bit of size in the ruck. Harkin hugging the boundary line, trying to intercept in the air the Sharks. The four ball doesn't go over and eventually does through Mac Webb. So Jamie Harkin had 32 disposals on both occasions in the home and away season against the Sharks. So, I mean, she loves playing against any opponent, but particularly the Sharks in the stat department in 2026, of course. Basically completed state league football off the back of a state winning triumph as captain this year against the Sandford W. Comes down the way of Valentini. Neither ruck could get to it. Macaulay around the corner. Foot race could be on now. And first to it's going to be Eddie, another former interstate player, trying to plead a case for a free kick. Umpire's not buying into it now.
Oh, she's dived on that.
Drag that back in. Going to be penalised here potentially. And umpire says benefit of the doubt, not sure who reeled that into the opposing player. So just in front of us, broadcast side here at Robo Fitness Stadium. Almost gone 7 minutes in this opening term. Atkins comes out now to Leach. Leach, one of two Sharks to play in all those three grand finals against Claremont, including the 2023 Premiership, and cut off now by Maynard for the Tigers, much to the applause of the Claremont faithful here at Robo Fitness Stadium. Going short now to Lucy Gilby. Only a third game of WAFLW footy in a preliminary final as well. So she debuted in the last round of the home and away season, had 20 disposals and holds her place in this formidable Claremont lineup. Here comes Macaulay on the bounce for East Fremantle. They're the only ones that have scored so far. Awkward one, didn't really treat Repacholi whatsoever, but it comes back into a grass. Hampel wasn't the best one, only as far as Maynard. Now over the top to Hutton. Can they open up the far side of the Tigers? They try and do so, but it's going to be chopped off by East Fremantle through McKay.
Just playing really well on the wing this year, Liv, after making a debut last year in the league side and playing state 18s this year. Is Webb.
Webb sends it inside 50, dangerous territory, only as far there of her sister in Georgia Webb. So it's fascinating, isn't it?
She tore Claremont apart last time East Fremantle played them, like you said, when they won, so they'll have to put a little bit of work into her. Would love to see a Webb v Webb matchup, that would be quite fun.
Well, would, of course. Georgia Webb, a bit more of a rebounding defender. They both obviously have those traits as well, but both very important to their respective sides in the back half and working up the ground when they need to. Shallow throw in. Nudged underneath it was Husband. Deemed legal. Repacholi, quick fire shot at goal. Interesting bounce. And eventually going to spill over before Macaulay could save it. Thought a boundary line stoppage was going to loom there, but
Shane Wall would have been proud of that bounce.
A behind, which you just never know what could happen with that behind come the later stage of this game. Of course, 1 point win to Swan Districts last week against Claremont in a nail-biting contest. Here is Webb. Ashley comes out of the back half. Green had the size over McKay. And boundary line looms again. Henderson wants to keep it in. Atkins had other ideas in mind. We'll have a boundary throw in. So Claremont yet to score. Would have been no doubt spoken about the hot start from Dave Eames' side.
Yeah, they want to get a run on early here, which they've done very well.
Well, Swan District's no doubt in the house as well, watching on very closely Jason Burton's side to see who they'll be coming up against in next week's decider. Sergeant Wilson can't believe her luck. Flynn wins the free kick at ground level. Now, there's a few leads short, including Wilstra. That's going to be ignored. The longer approach there, Repacholi. Flynn could have potentially gone to goal from outside 50 for a second time, but here's Eddie now for Claremont. Bit of a floater off the boot. Here's Viney. Came back into the lineup last week after missing the final round of the season. At least she kept the handball in front there of Bullis to run onto. And then Bullis' kick is a good one for Sergeant Wilson. And not quite benefit of the doubt. It can be a fine line at the best of times, but Sergeant Wilson nonetheless keeps the ball moving. Back to Viney, the vice-captain, the reigning best and fairest winner for Claremont.
This looks much more like Claremont now. Nice build up here.
Next link in the chain is Gilby. She's quick to move on to up towards half forward, but again, chopping off there. They're setting up well at the moment through Mac Webb. East Fremantle. Not sure there would have been any more nervous players potentially than her. I think it's a former side, home ground, and given what's on the line today, not to mention the family affair as well. Here's Eddie trying to intercept on that far side. Almost at the halfway stage of this opening quarter. Through the hands there of Seaborn. Crook has to be quick with it. Not sure that she disposed of it correctly. Here's the only inclusion today, Perry. Great tackle there applied and going to be rewarded. In fact, she's not. Dangerous tackle. It was actually, Perry who gave away that free kick to Webb. So a couple disposals coming up for her consecutively.
I think East Fremantle need to lower their eyes a little bit going inside 50. Repacholi's a great strong mark. They keep kicking over her head and out the back's probably not her go. So if they are East Fremantle, try and lower your eyes a little bit and hit her up on the lead.
Long down the line. Wilstra was sort of caught in two minds whether to attack it. Didn't go at full steam. Harkins' handball's a good one there and can run on to the end of it. Gilby. Now she's going to have to take a bounce. Was on the borderline. First time calling Becky Anderson's name. Misfired handball potential. The kick could have been a better option. Webb going to back herself in her leg speed outside of the boot. Again, ball still on that far side. Eddie dropped the mark, but has a bit of time up her sleeve to work with. Wilstra chops in with the tackle. Johansson had to be careful then not to give away the free kick, and we can all just take our breath for a moment here. A bit of push and shove. You wouldn't expect anything less. They do say preliminary finals are the hardest to win in any form of footy, and today will be no different.
100%, and like we spoke about before, this is the almost a bigger test than being into the grand final.
Kinane, done there. Keeley would have liked that moment again. Bonaday and Johansson. Johansson has the foot speed and she's got the soccer to match it as well. East Fremantle, well, it's very early stages, but they could have not come out any more guns blazing in this preliminary final. Johansson, who kicked the goal last week, continues on her merry way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to drop the mark, but great read here by Johansson to kick it off the ground. And
could have that been kicking danger, could have been borderline, but doesn't take away from the goal there. So very handy 13-point lead for East Fremantle as the clock continues to run in this opening term.
Got to make the most of your opportunities when you go inside 50, and that's exactly what East Fremantle have done so far. So
Claremont just caught off guard a little bit. They won't be panic stations. They have been here time and time again, and of course such a long way to play out here at Revo Fitness Stadium. But East Fremantle
definitely dominating the early page start to this game.
They've thrown Sibby Wilson-Sieber perhaps into the middle as well. So Benjamin picks up. In fact, it's number 13, Decor for East Fremantle, the Irish recruit. Anderson gone into the ruck for Claremont. Kinane wanted the free kick. And pass there. Spalding and Evans over the top. Knew she had Anderson in the corner of her eye. Up towards half forward for Claremont. Here's Perry. Some good body work there. Goes up to Skipper and Ortlip around the corner. Ortlip spotted up Viney, who held it for a long time but wasn't paid the mark. Perry lost it for a moment. Want to make a good impression today considering she's the only inclusion, and if they do make the grand final next week, there's going to be selection pressure, and Harkin, we don't often associate holding the ball free kick with her, but again, East Fremantle Cook, their whole back line, their midfield, their forwards are stepping up at the current time.
Yeah, their pressure's been outstanding so far, East Fremantle. Really taking it to the reigning premiers in Claremont.
It was Rayson, who's another former Tiger herself, so a bit of motivation perhaps against her former side as well. Angelique Rayson, who's found a newfound home in the back line as well, was always been sort of a forward, State 18's former captain, but she's held down that back position very well, and that seems to be her new home, certainly at this back end of the year point. Crook, in fact it was Anderson And now running through Sergeant Wilson. Can they get one early on the board just to settle the nerves of the Tigers? It's going to come off the boot there of Sergeant Wilson. Campo, should she have left that? Hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's an awkward one when you're not facing, or you're not seeing what's behind you, I should say. And we wait to see here. Hard to tell which way. It wouldn't have gone on the full, so may have just snuck in. But nonetheless, Claremont are on the board and two straight kicks separates the sides.
Great bit of footwork there by Ruby as well, though. That's the sort of run and carry that Claremont have probably been lacking a little bit in early stages of this game.
Racing pulls the kick short. Helicopter off the boot. Trying to trap it in front was Repacholi. Hugging the boundary line is Fremantle. They're not going to save that, so that'll come back, you'd suspect, in a similar direction from Megan Green. Green down the line. Anderson's there. A few bites at the cherry for skipper and Teakle. The tough task today of that matchup with Anderson when she is deep forward. She did shut down Kiana Lee last week very well, who was averaging 4 goals up until recent times for South Fremantle. So if there's anyone that can do it, it's the Teakle. It's the captain in Teakle, who's leading a WAFLW team in a preliminary final at the age of 19.
Outstanding young leader and individual Teak, so I'm not surprised she's the captain and playing a big part in their final series.
Just be held up here at centre half forward position away of Claremont. Atkins through her fingertips. Bullis trying to feed it out there to Sergeant Wilson. Puts her head over it, lost it. Self has to play to the whistle. Was expecting the free kick to come her way. Leach in the meantime goes out there to Flynn. Flynn's short ball. Puts it in the path now of Johansson, who had to trap it. Went off the ground. She did. Here's a chance for Jezerski Brown. Live wire small forward for East Fremantle. Pressure comes both sides of the ledge, and we'll have another ball up on this wing.
East Fremantle is setting up really well defensively here for Claremont as well. They're sort of setting up just on top of the 50 and not giving them any time or space, which is exactly what Claremont wants. So very good start from the Sharks.
What a feather in the cap it could be for the first quarter of Dames Eames' side if they can hold them goalless, but it still is 4 minutes remaining for Claremont to do that justice. Gilby sent it inside 50. Teakle, the bounce sat well for her in the end and goes short, although it's going to be chopped off there by Green, who has worked up the ground a bit more so in recent weeks. Obviously spends a lot of time forward, but her athletic traits certainly on display in this ATCO WAFLW final series. Speaking of athletic traits and tackling, Wilson Sieber, she started the game well. Bit of a point to prove. Sergeant Wilson pleads her case, and I think that was the right call. She was wanting to play on without realising the pressure that was coming from behind her. Wilstra lost the marking opportunity, but went back. Handball there, interesting there, one for Green, comes to Evans. She's going to be on the left side, which will favour her to move it forward, but only as far as the Sharks. And been a bit of a tail up the first quarter so far as Leslie chops it off. She goes down the line. And Webb.
Playing a bit of ping pong at the moment.
Georgia Webb this time takes the mark. Going to switch across goal through Lani Eddy. Not her best kick. Could this be a chance to capitalise? Drop mark there by Flynn. Her only real mistake of this first quarter of note so far. Atkins, the experience going to be crucial today. Umpire put the whistle away. Here's Henderson. Are they going to leave their run late for Claremont? Better late than never. But that's going to be chopped off in the process. Not sure East Fremantle Shark in racing had prior there. Nonetheless, Claremont move it forward. We see Ortlipp often on the end of these kicks. This time it was Anderson. Bullis doing everything she can. This will be disposal number 7 in the first quarter. Off to Viney. Viney had a bit more time than she realised, but wanted to get the ball moving. Valentini going back with the flight. Can they touch it? It didn't matter. Wrong side of the post anyway, and could have been quite a fitting way for Claremont to go to the mark if Valentini could have been in the vicinity for an opportunity in game number 100, but Claremont not to be in East Fremantle. 2 minutes for them to hold on to this late at quarter time.
Smart from Teakle there, just to take a really deep breath and waste a little bit of time.
At full stretch, great mark there by Keelys. Takes some really good strides forward this year. Obviously very young, and we know rucks can take a while to come into their own, which is a scary proposition for her prime years to come, you'd think. Webb, this time Georgia. Got their mark by Racing. Seaborn side by side. Jezerski Brown and East Fremantle might want to wrap this one in.
Good pressure from Seaborn.
And holding the ball there, so Seaborn's going to be too far out to score. Playing a 17th year still, state 18 experience, and was actually one of the players on the outer this time of year after playing in the home and away season, so she's got a point to prove. There's many points to prove individually as well as collectively for these two sides. East Fremantle through Spalding. Quick kick off almost what was a standing step. Bonadeo stood her ground. Repacholi saying, I'm doing everything I can to get this ball out. Umpire recognises that. Just over a minute on the clock. Can East Fremantle hold the two-time reigning premier goalless in this opening term?
Be a big statement if they can.
Flynn slung around. Again, Bullis makes her earn it. Outside of the boot went McKay, only as far as the Tigers through Webb as well, who's been a marking machine in this first quarter. She's quick to move the ball, and they'll know there's not too long left. Evans has the foot speed over Atkins. Atkins has the pressure, though, and the experience, as mentioned earlier. Comes out there. Harkin puts her head over it and has to just settle for a ball up there. So time continues to run. 30 seconds on the clock.
Good hit out.
Well done there by Harkin. Back to the direction of her ruck in.
Oh.
Husband now. Flynn couldn't have made that any more obvious, but I think the ball may have been out as well to be on her side. So that might just about be it. As the clock continues to run. East Fremantle, not sure too many people saw this coming, albeit very early. An 11-point, we know isn't a huge lead, especially to a Claremont side who have been there and done that at this time of year and beyond. But that's quarter time here from Remo Fitness Stadium. It was a hot start for the Sharks, coming in as huge underdogs today. Jay Flynn right from the outset continued where she left off from last week, and also Jasmine Johansson off the deck as well to get a bit of that breathing room. But Claremont, you can never rule them out. There's still 3 quarters, so they'll want to work into their groove, such as what's on the line for them. An opportunity to, at a 4th straight grand final, 5th straight grand final that is, in this dynasty that they've built. But East Fremantle wanting to get their second team in their respective grades through the grand final after the Rogers Cup won comprehensively early today at Remo Fitness Stadium. We'll be back on the other side of this for the second quarter. It's the Sharks off to a hot start in the preliminary final. They lead by 11 points.
Smell rotten eggs indoors? That could be a gas leak. Leave the area and report it to ATCO on 13 13 52. Now you know, you're good to go.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Hey, Rog, we got a Kia EV5. What do you reckon? You see my keys? The car stopped charging.
You snitch. Stay. What's massage mode? Oh, did we just become best friends?
Kia, movement that inspires.
All the way west. You can't drive there. It lives in us. It's having skin and heart and nerve in the game. It's letting them hear you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. All the way west is driving 6 hours every home game. It pushes us onwards, upwards, sideways and together. All in, that's just the beginning. We are all the way west.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au.
they could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
What is Kevin up to?
They just got the Kia EV4.
Do you love me now, Brian? Oh, poor Kevin.
Come on, mate. Let's get you cleaned up.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Looks like I need a little TLC. Trust me, you don't want to see this.
Gas appliances should be serviced every 2 years. Now you know, you're good to go.
Quarter time of the ATCO WAFLW preliminary final sees East Fremantle as severe underdogs with an 11-point lead. They've kept the two-time reigning premier Claremont to just 2 behind and scored 2 goals themselves. Ethan Roth joined by Patrice Devlin in commentary. No one saw that coming, but I guess the question for East Fremantle as the second quarter approaches is how long can they do it for with a young group, and Claremont been here and done that so many times.
Yeah, like we're just discussing off air, absolutely amazing start by the Sharks, and they played to their strengths. They ran, they carried and kicked it in there with a bit of chaos ball where Claremont like to use a lot of method, and East Fremantle slowed them down in that regard. So they'll be up and about, but like we just said, I'm not sure they've got the legs to run with the experienced Claremont side, but I guess time will tell.
And having said that as well, Claremont's had some opportunities, such with a couple of behinds as well. So taking nothing away from East Fremantle in that quarter, but they were certainly surging forward the Tigers whenever they had the chance. And yeah, as we said before the break, if you're just joining us, Jay Flynn got proceedings underway, 7 disposals and a goal. She's been amongst the side's best off the back of her winner last week in the Derby elimination final win, and the other goal to Jasmine Johansson. Hayley Bullis has been very busy for the Tigers. Megan Green and Ruby Sargent-Wilson also up to 6 disposals, as well as the third game, Lucy Gilby with 5 disposals as well. So second quarter, middle part of the game as well. I guess we're into the game now, so not to say the nerves will go down by any means, but I guess the anticipation of this second quarter, thanks to the West Coast Eagles, as the first quarter is now done and dusted as we get into the middle stages. And we're saying off air, Swan Districts will just be hoping these two teams bash and crash each other as much as possible.
Yeah, you'd love as Swans a nice physical game here so that everyone else is cooked by the time while they're having a nice break. But from our point of view, hopefully a nice clean game. That's been the case so far.
11-point lead for the Sharks. They'll have to extend that. Feel Claremont with the crowd on their side at home maybe stronger as the game goes on, if anything is to go by in the past. As we get underway for the second quarter, Keeley off the deck, trying to beat Bullis to it. Bullis a slight jumper hold, and that'll be enough to get a free kick into her hands.
If you're East Fremantle, you want to get far enough ahead because Claremont are a very good finishing side.
Just dropped the mark there by Hutton. The pressure ominous. Claremont are feeling it despite what they've done in the history of this competition. Hutton, an experienced player. Bonadeo, not so much, but certainly playing with maturity beyond her years. Great handball there in tight congestion from the teenager. Goes now to Hutton, who can make up for that little error before. Evans eager to keep this ball in. Crook likewise. Back into the coalface. Webb's there. Sargent-Wilson's going to close her down. Evans trying to slap it in the path there of Campo. Around the corner went Crook, and good sidestep just to get out of jail for now. Up towards this broadcast side wing. Bullis around the corner, kicking Hope more than anything, and Keeley through her hands. Around the corner went Campo. Often on the end of these kicks, but Anderson's not a bad player to have underneath it as well, and she can't quite keep it in despite the athletic profile of Beck Anderson. So boundary thrown inside the 50 for Claremont.
They probably want a little bit more from Anderson in this second quarter. She didn't really lead up too much for them in that first quarter, which is what I think they're sort of breaking down a little bit, Claremont.
Came second in the Joanne Huggins Award with 29 goals, or 28 goals I should say, for last week. And offers much athleticism in the ruck, as is the case on this occasion. Around the corner, didn't get much purchase on the kick though. Standing in the way there was Rayson. Leslie over the top. Gave a chance there to Rayson. Gives it over there to Webb, who's running across half back. Now there's a foot race on between Maynard and Wilstra. Maynard first to it, but lost her footing. She'll want to be quick to get this out. Bonadeo doesn't have any price, so she'll be wrapped up for the stoppage. You just wonder how much insight Mac Webb has given to her new club about her former teammates. Of course, they've burst a couple of times in the year as well, but I'm sure it would be handy To give a bit of insights to how to stop some of her former teammates after a premiership with them last year, moving on to a new opportunity in the blue and the white.
She'll know plenty of the inside information, that's for sure.
Bonadeo trying to break her way through, and umpire said you had a chance to get rid of it, holding the ball. Jay Flynn mentioned she had 7 tackles last week. She adds to it here in a great way for the Sharks.
She's having a great first half of this game. That kick not so much, but...
Over the top, Harkin getting busy, Bullis likewise. These familiar names in the middle. Webb, now rebounding there was Viney, had to be quick with it. Ferocious there, and Spalding, it comes her way around the corner, smothered off the boot though. Evans comes back the way of Spalding. Now Crook sends it forward for the Sharks. Claremont have the extra number. Wills just going to have to buy off more than she can chew. Here lies over the top there. I think she thought the ball was trapped underneath, but Claremont come the other way. And Bullis has to just be strong in the contest, which she was. Used physicality to her advantage. Likewise did Webb there around the corner for the Sharks. Bit of back and forth footy to start the second quarter. Well trapped there from Bonadeo. Again, had a bit more time than she realised, but such is the pressure of finals footy. Keeley, run and carry from the Sharks ruck. Going back with the flight, eyes for it the whole way was Maynard. Trying to protect the space was Wheelstrap. Comes down the way of Webb. She shows great composure. Through the corridor, wants to find Ortlip over the back. Here's a chance here. Orzil just has to slap it to the advantage there of Campo, but Webb again, she's held up extremely well in this preliminary final so far. You can make a case that they could be further behind. Well, yeah, they could be conceded a goal already, perhaps if it wasn't for Mac Webb and their fellow defenders. Comes out now to Campo, trying to get creative and step on the non-preferred. Comes now to Leslie. Leslie wouldn't want to bring it too much back into the middle. Grayson knew that and goes down the ground. Atkins caught from behind. One-on-one now with Bullis. Bullis been everywhere to start this preliminary final. Bonadeo has to be quick. She was caught holding the ball last time. Learns from it now. Inside 50 went Viney. And she spotted Patug running at full steam there with Sergeant Wilson. No whistle blown, which was an interesting decision. He's at the required 15. Not quite. And I think the umpire off out of zone has paid the mark potentially, not the in-zone umpire. And Ortlip, it's all happening here in the preliminary final as Webb is slow to her feet. Hopefully she's okay because they need her out there. And the skipper, Rachel Ortlip, can go back. It looked like the officiating umpire called that just the 15. And the umpire said, gee, you could make a case there. In fact, it was a hold. In fact, it was a hold that was called. So I was going to say, I don't think that was quite the 15.
No, definitely was not 15.
From where we're sitting. So play's just going to be held up here. Clock will continue to run.
I don't like this part about our games. I really think we should have time on or pause the clock for incidents like this because it does chew up a lot of time. And close games like finals tend to be, the clock means everything. So
yeah, particularly for a final, I think. Obviously, at the stakes it is currently, as Webb makes her way off the ground, probably not going to come back too much. But having said that, all the time matters in a preliminary final when you do look back at whichever way the game is going to go today. Good to see Webb running off there. She's going to be needed as the longer this game's on. She's had a great start into her former side, and I'm sure a few Claremont cheers for their former player as well. Good spirits nonetheless, even if she's crossed over to the Sharks.
A good whack in the ribs there, I think, from Sergeant Wilson.
So
big kick.
Rachel Ortlip, kick goals in all their grand finals. Often steps up to the plate when her side needs her to. And in unfamiliar way of Rachel Ortlip, she can't quite convert there. So these behind starting to stack up a little bit for the two-time reigning premier.
Thought we were going to see a big celebration there. She's had a few this year.
Certainly has. Running out of fullback there, Teakle, well spotted up to Leslie. Another state 18s player for WA this year.
Plenty of space out here for the Sharks.
Recruiters watch on closely as well in the WAFLW when it comes to the AFL draft is concerned. AFLW draft and just footy in general, no doubt your reputation lifts if you can perform on the big stage.
It was great to see about 6 of our girls from last year's crop make their debuts over this weekend. So hopefully same for the young girls in the 18s program this year to aspire towards.
Valentini wanted to find Gilby, and Harkin's not letting go of the tackle anytime soon. Comes down the way of Flynn. Again, a bit more time than she realised. A lot easier said than done from up here. Decor lost it for a moment. East Fremantle hack it forward. Webb, bit of time to work with the bounce. just meant she had to track it closer to the boundary line than she initially thought. Jezerska Brown expected to go off the deck. She sure does. Off to a play, Johansson, who went off the deck for her earlier goal. Henderson wins out there to Viney. Viney was tempted to go with the kick, then saw in the corner of the eye that providing an option was Gilby. Henderson moves it on quickly now to Viney. She runs her full measure, goes short. Couldn't quite hit up a target in Seaborn. Grayson first there. And East Fremantle still denying Claremont any chance to score a goal at this stage.
Very
Also,
scrappy the start of this second quarter, hasn't it? Both
Sure
teams
is.
just putting too much pressure. Well, both are applying a lot of pressure, which is great, but it's really affecting the quality of the game.
Flynn out to Keeley. Now, Leslie not afraid to slam it on the boot. Only as far there as Webb, who dropped the mark, but luckily for her sake, kept it in front of herself. Shrugged off with ease in the end as well, and then sends it back to a similar direction. You just get the feeling if Claremont can get one on the board, it might open up the front gates, such as we've seen in this competition. Seaborn, it just has to work for it. Might get there herself. She might go off the deck just to make sure of it, and Claremont are on the board. Finally, the reigning premier. Seaborn, well, not too much of a celebration, more a sigh of relief in the end, and Claremont, it took a lot longer than they would have liked, but a player in her 17th year, Hannah Seaborn, who has a point to prove after last year being left out of the final series and the grand final for that matter, gets Claremont on the board, middle stages of the second term.
Yeah, like we said, really messy build-up, but she found some space out the back there in Seaborn and did all she needed to do, little toe poke.
Yeah, there's been a couple of kicks from beyond the 50 from that end where the balls just kept rolling and rolling, and I think that probably would have gone in if Seaborn didn't go off the deck, but of course made sure of it as expected in the end, and similar to Jay Flynn's goal as well, the ball just kept moving. So back to 4 points now, and Claremont just to get the monkey off the back, I suppose, in this preliminary final.
I mean, for all East Fremantle's hard work, to only be 4 points ahead is probably not where they want to be, and I feel like Claremont might start to get on a roll here.
They'll get a free kick back their way as Viney starts to lift her game. Quick to move on with it. Valentini was short. That was ignored. Sergeant Wilson over the back. Just wanted to knock it on in however shape or form, and tapping to the boundary. Umpire saying it might be a boundary throw, and Evans can't believe, I think it did come off the boot there. Unfortunately not in a position where we have the arc like the AFL and AFLW, but East Fremantle, a bit of a let off there.
Yes, I think that came straight off Liv McKay's boot, but anyway, the umpires are never wrong.
Boundary throw in. Over the head there of Keeley. To call out. Viney wasn't quite expecting it. Fierce bump there applied.
A lot of numbers in this forward 50 for Claremont.
Halfway stage thereabouts of the second term. It's all thanks to the West Coast Eagles. Appreciate your company on the Waffle Official Live YouTube channel. Second last week of the season. Preliminary final day. East Fremantle's Rogers have already won comprehensively to get through to next week's decider. Across the face of goal, Leach getting back to help out. Haven't called Lynch's name too much today for East Fremantle, but there she is getting involved and applying a good tackle there. Orzel, can she pierce the gap? Got some good purchase on it at full stretch. Campo, and expect Racing just to see this over the line. So this is probably as under siege as East Fremantle's back to felt, despite being made to work since the outset.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they hold up under this pressure now that it's sort of flipped the script and Claremont are on top of the game at the moment.
Racing.
Send it along.
The side of the boot in a way, not going to favour either side, but wanted more purchase on it than that, although Flynn read it best. Can East Fremantle be out here? Repacholi, not the most ideal to play to have run and carry, but going back with the flight. Wilson Sieber, hopefully both those players will slow to their feet, are okay. Nonetheless, Bonadeo sizes up their options, goes short on the left. That's a good kick there, disguising it well.
That's what final footy is all about, big contest, but hopefully both those players are okay.
And the second attempt, Orzel. Now, Anderson's not down there, she received it, so Campo's going to have to attack this ball well, which she did, racing the one-on-one, tucked up in the corner, around the body she went.
Interesting decision.
Out of the corner of eye, saw Atkins, and Webb could break out of jail. Gets the handball on there to Canaan. Just waited for it and knew that Takal was going to get there by herself. Webb, again, she's been everywhere, and you could see her back on the field more than anything in this preliminary final. Going back with it is Maynard. And Wilstrut and Johansson make sure that ball doesn't come the other way. It's been a frantic preliminary final so far, but what we love to see here at Rainbow Fitness Stadium.
Maynard's doing really well for Claremont on Wilshire. A very important forward for the Sharks, and Maynard's probably shut her down for the most part of this game so far.
Another one, Sarah Wilshire, who's played at the top level with Fremantle and caught hold of the ball. Canaan.
She's not happy about that.
She's often on the end of tackles herself, and this time she's caught there by Hayley Bullis. Very short, not the required 15, and Gee, you feel for the umpires today. They're going to be very brave in the decision making.
Especially at the Claremont Den, where their supporters really get around their female program, which is great to see, but very vocal.
Valentini and Anderson dueling side by side. Umpire again says, give it to me.
Interesting decision to leave Hayley Bellows alone at a stoppage.
Fast feet from Harkin. Maybe could have kicked that ball, but coming the other way, the Sharks. Leach, one of the more lightly thrown players out there. Well done there by Flynn. Disguised it not once but twice. Then gives over to Macaulay, the former Royal. Should be very happy she made the move to East Fremantle this year, that's for sure. With all due respect to a young developing side in the Royals. And on top of it there, trying to paddle it out. Johansson, tight angles to work with Johansson. She can often make something out of nothing, and that's going to hit the behind post. At this stage of the game, probably rather a boundary throw rather than one behind.
On your point with Macaulay, she was a Subiaco Roger as well, so it's great to see her really stepping up into league footy and making the most of her opportunities. So good to see her out here
Bit
in
of
prelim.
a journey player, a few clubs, but found her home and been a real consistent part of that run and carry style and skills-based approach that Dave Eames likes to go with in his first year as well as coach. So East Fremantle, it's a new identity all around. Playing with freedom this year.
Yeah, very different look, very different game style, but it's clearly working for him.
I, for one, did not see them getting this point. I think as part of pre-season predictions, I had them in the bottom two, such as my predictions.
I don't think you're alone in that, Ethan, so I wouldn't feel too bad. But they've definitely surprised a lot of people, I think. Proving
people left, right and centre. Let's see if they can extend their lead here. The ball remains top of the goal square there, about 6 minutes remaining in this opening half. They've held off Claremont for all parts of this game, despite Claremont finally getting on the board for the last major through Hannah Seaborn. Johansson, can she get back into her right boot? She does, outside of the boot. Not sure it's the required 15. Can Wilster go off the deck? Play a circle. Wilson Sieber on the right side for a left footer. Here's Johansson, puts her head over it. Tight angles to work with Wilson Sieber. Impossible angle and always look to the near side. In fact, must have been touched off the boot and didn't go inside the post, so it will be another boundary throw, which again...
Not sure about having a shot from there, though.
Yeah, it was quite ambitious, but nonetheless, another opportunity beckons.
Let's see if the rucks actually move. Like, the boundary umpires are not throwing it that far in. I don't know why they're setting up so far back.
High boundary throw in. Repiccioli tried to grab it out.
Someone needs to get on the move here, these repeat stoppages. Claremont or East Fremantle, someone just needs to run through, create a bit of chaos. All very stationary.
There is Kinane trying to provide that run. Bonadeo there at ground level. Potentially could be her last game if they're not able to get up today for Claremont. State draft combine invite for her.
Good to see her playing some consistent footy again as well, Indy, after a few injury issues.
There's some higher ups on her for more reports as well to go to that top level.
Oh, she's a beautiful kick of the footy, and for someone so young, her maturity and game sense is quite good, so she'll definitely suit that level.
She'll want to make sure there's at least one more game for Claremont, though. Johansson threatened there to kick her second. Losing it there was Maynard off the deck. That's going to be out of bounds on the full. And, well, the pressure got to her there, and it's going to be Johansson, looks like, and she's a crafty small forward who probably, you wouldn't want anyone more better to have the ball into her hands, but she doesn't look too confident. Looks like she's going to try and set this one up, and Teakle floating forward. We know she did this earlier in the season. Tiani Teakle, she got them to the home elimination final in the first place, where they hosted last week's final off the back of the winner against West Perth in round 18. She can be thrown forward, and the versatility comes to the forefront for the Sharks. The skipper steps up to the plate.
Talk about a captain's goal. Beautiful snap. Beautiful snap. Under a lot of pressure there as well, so to just turn on her right foot, that's an insane goal.
Talk about leading by example. 9-point lead as the clock continues to run with just under 4 minutes remaining. Tiani Teakle, and
big goal.
It's a really good option as well. I know that wasn't a set play necessarily, but if they do need to throw someone forward deep stages to get a more conventional look at goal, then Teakle could be that answer. But of course, they don't want to remove her out of the back line anytime soon as well. So a bit of a conundrum, but a good problem to have nonetheless for Dave Eames' side. Harkin on the rebound. Can Claremont get a quick reply? They've been known to do that throughout this dynasty that they've created for themselves. Evans didn't take the mark, so luckily wasn't out of bounds on the full, and on the second attempt it went over the line.
A lot of very uncharacteristic Carrieristic, whatever you know what I'm trying to say.
Charistic,
Fumbles here
yep.
from Claremont. They're not usually like this. They're a very clean team. So that's big kudos to East Fremantle for the pressure they're putting on the Tigers.
Is there a goal left in this first half for either side? Harkin traps it in there with Anderson. It's the supreme ball winner in the history of the WAFLW who wins it out. Ortlup's over the top, just a bit beyond her reach. Has to go back with it. Rayson has to be careful. Anderson side by side with her. Bandula might not be the worst result here for the Sharks. Anderson saying insufficient intent, and we'll see it thrown in for the Tigers.
Just there again, like Buller's had a perfect opportunity to hit Ortlup then and just misses the kick. Just need to tidy up a few things here, the Tigers.
Couple of minutes for East Fremantle to hold on to. They'll try and survive here.
A horrible throw.
And it's not the best throw in, so we'll see that thrown back in.
Good little breather though.
Claremont, can they find their second? Anderson would like to think so. Athletic out of the ruck. Did she get a handball out? Apparently so. Viney in the contest, out to Harkin, hot handball to win, and she actually got a kick away when she didn't intend to. There was almost a drop kick, and Harkin, I mean, she can do it all, whether she intends to or not. Wasn't the required 15, but by any means. Under a couple of minutes remaining. Second quarter, thanks to the West Coast Eagles. Bonadeo sets up Green. Now she's got a long kick on her, does Megan Green. To the top of the square, they'll try and get this through. Might not need to in the end. Mackenzie Webb, great mark there in front of Seaborn. Will have to be called back to the 9.
There's very much a brick wall down there. Mac Webb, her and Teakle.
Mac Webb also played a few games for the West Coast Eagles as well, so she'll no doubt have some ambition to get back to the top level, whether it will be this year or in future years. Bonadeo, did she have prior? Kinane, a tackling machine, that's what she's known for. And she's quick to move on, which is interesting considering they have a lead with a minute left and a half. But they do get the down the field free kick as a result of it, and Teakle's going to be there. Now, don't underestimate what one more goal could do for East Fremantle heading into the main break. They do seem likely to have the lead in one way or another. Short ball there. It's a bit of a risk versus reward, because if you want to get another, you might risk Claremont getting one more at the other end. Husband wraps that tackle there, says, I'm doing everything I can to get it out.
Big minute here.
Massive minute in the context of this one. Viney's there. Atkins around the corner. Hasn't been her most prolific self, but nonetheless, they stand taller when Ash Atkins is out there by her presence alone. Comes down to Bonadeo around the corner. You'd have to be flawless from here, you'd think. Campo goes to ground, boundary line. The call late, going to get that in. I don't think Dave Eames will be complaining too much if that ball goes out, which it does.
A very good little fumble, that one. Just, oh no, went over the line.
Tension's only going to lift as this one goes on. A half of footy almost complete. And East Fremantle, as they were leading at 11 points at quarter time, looks like they're going to lead by 9. So Claremont seemingly going to win the quarter. Last passage of play coming up, big fist there. Viney has to be a clean gather here, and Keeley might have done enough. Anderson going to be too little too late as far as the first half is concerned. Luckily there, because Sergeant Wilson might have been out. But East Fremantle, they win the half. They've done half the job. They've still got 50% of this one to go to, despite being severe underdogs here. And what are your thoughts on that first half, Patrice Devlin? It was a game where Claremont's they're behind, but you just don't want to rule them out. But Teakle, that goal there, ultra impressive, just to get more breathing room at the main break.
Oh, you definitely can't rule the Tigers out, but East Fremantle have brought their A game, and they always want to play a little bit of chaos and just keep the ball moving, and they've done that exceptionally well. So to their credit, they've had an outstanding half. I don't think they can play much better than that, so they should be really happy. And like you said, Teaks's goal was a really clutch goal in the context of the game, and a lot of thinking for Jack and his team to do at halftime in Tigerland.
They've been the surprise packet of season 2026. A grand final appearance would sound pretty good for those in the blue and white, but they've still got a big half of footy to do the job. And Claremont, they want to keep the hopes of 3 consecutive premierships on the line, and 4 premierships in the last 5 years as well. We'll go to a break and recap the first half. Look at some of the big highlights from that first half from Robo Fitness Stadium. On the other side of this, it's the preliminary final with a half to play out. The Sharks leading by 9 points.
Smell rotten eggs indoors? That could be a gas leak. Leave the area and report it to ATCO on 13 13 52. Now you know, you're good to go.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Hey, Rog, we got a Kia EV5. What do you reckon? Have you seen my keys? The car stopped charging.
You snitch. Stay. What's massage mode? Oh, did we just become best friends?
Kia. Movement that inspires.
all the way west. You can't drive there. It lives in us. It's having skin and heart and nerve in the game. It's letting them hear you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. All the way west is driving 6 hours every home game. It pushes us onwards, upwards, sideways and together. All in, that's just the beginning. We are all the way west.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at waFLW.com.au.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
What is Kevin up to?
They just got the Kia EV4.
Do you love me now, Brian? Oh, poor Kevin.
Come on, mate. Let's get you cleaned up.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Looks like I need a little TLC. Trust me, you don't want to see this.
Gas appliances should be serviced every 2 years. Now you know, you're good to go.
First half in the books here of the preliminary final of the ATCO WAFLW to the Sharks with a 9-point lead. Claremont cutting it back a little bit from an 11-point lead to the Sharks to 9 points at the main break. But East Fremantle being the better of the sides, which not many people probably saw coming today, coming from outside the top two, making a run, as Swan District did last year, to get through to the grand final. That'll be the aim of them today, as we see some of the highlights on the screen. Patrice Devlin joins myself, Ethan Roth, in commentary. And contested game, scrappy game, which is what East Fremantle like to see. But the likes of Hayley Bullis on the screen there, trying to get some fast-moving ball movement for the Tigers as well. And she's been everywhere with 16 disposals to have 3 more disposals than the next best in Jay Flynn as well. Really come into the back end of the year on her own. Of course, wasn't there earlier in the year. Former Sydney Swan and West Coast player, and putting up some huge numbers really when it matters at this latter stage of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Bullis has had a great first half, her and Jay Flynn, and obviously came off the back of an ACL injury last year with the Swans. So it's great to have her back in WA. And two, great to see her playing her best footy. Like you said, she's probably averaging about nearly 30 the last, 3 weeks or so. And she kicked a few goals in there as well, which I'm sure Claremont would love her to kick one today. But her and Jay Flynn are going head-to-head quite nicely. And from a Claremont perspective, you probably want Harkin and those sort of likes to get on the ball a little bit more. Probably haven't had too much of an impact on the game, but that's credit to East Fremantle as well for slowing them down and how they like to move the ball usually.
2 of their 3 goals, the Sharks, came in this first quarter, which we can see some of the highlights here from. It was Jasmine Johansson as well as Jay Flynn. We see Flynn there attacking the ball as she typically does. Sergeant Wilson going toe-to-toe with her as well. In her first year, we speak about Hayley Bullis continuing to track the footy in warm conditions here at Revo Fitness Stadium as well. Claremont, they're going to have to do it the hard way, and you just never would rule them out being able to do so. Of course, winning the last 2 premierships. And of course facing the Sharks between 2022 to 2024 in all of those grand finals, which has transferred into this year with 1 game apiece in the home and away season. Georgia Webb's been busy. We see Kiana Perry there for Claremont as well, the only inclusion. That is that goal we speak about from Jasmine Johansson. A couple off the deck. Seaborn actually kicked the goal off the deck, which we might see shortly as well in the second quarter to get their only goal so far. Harkin continues to try her hard out, and Anderson, they want to get her into the game a bit. Claremont, she's the premier forward for their sake, second in the competition for goals, and credit to the likes of Webb and Rayson down there for shutting her down at the current time.
Claremont have actually had more inside 50s, but I don't think they've had a mark inside 50, which for them is, again, very uncharacteristic. So they probably want to find a few more marks and just control the ball a little bit more. But to East Fremantle's credit, they're just not letting that happen. They haven't really got that handball run and carry game that they're profound for knowing. So, yeah, they want to get that rolling in the second half. But if East Fremantle, keep doing what you're doing. They're having an outstanding first half of football in arguably the biggest game of the year.
As longer this one goes, it'll be interesting to see how East Fremantle handle it, because I imagine the feeling in the rooms at the moment, there would be a few being like, we're in such a great position. Yeah. What have we sort of done in a way? Can we sort of stay in the moment and not get sort of sidetracked with the thought of next week before it is guaranteed or anything of that nature? So
or go into their shells as well, potentially.
Absolutely, yeah.
Try and save the game too early, which in a team like Claremont, you don't want to shut up shop because they're too good of a team.
The ruck battle's been interesting as well. Matilda Husband up to 16 hit-outs. Repacholi on 15, supported well by Zoe Keeley. We just saw a mark on the screen there. Athletic young ruck for East Fremantle as well. There's plenty of tackles being applied on both ends. McKay as well. She stepped up to the plate for East Fremantle State 18's player as well. And Georgia
had a great
Webb,
first final last week, Liv McKay.
She sure did. And Georgia Webb, Mac Webb at both ends have been marking almost everything for their respective sides as well. So warm conditions here at Revo Fitness Stadium. We'll see how that plays out as well. Obviously a large part of the season from really March onwards in the thrust of winter. So in terms of endurance and being able to run out the game, that'll be interesting as well, which is the great thing about having players on the bench, and hopefully no injury troubles or concerns at the moment as well. Viney, run and carry. She's been in the coalface of in the thick of things as well. Bonadeo as well in the back half for Claremont. So players taking a well-deserved break here at Revo Fitness Stadium. Jack Schwartz's side, they won't be panicking too much as well. You feel like a bit of damage will have to be done in the third quarter. Clock continues to run, so they don't want to leave it all to the last quarter, but having said that, you don't want to rule anything outside of a Claremont side. So second half around the corner. Rachel Ortler will be looking to add her name to the score sheet in one way or another. We'll go to another break and be back live on the WAFL official YouTube channel for the second half to see who's matching up with Swan Districts in the decider of the ATCO WAFLW Grand Final next week. It's halftime. We'll be back very shortly, right after this.
Smell rotten eggs indoors? That could be a gas leak. Leave the area and report it to ATCO on 13 13 52. Now you know, you're good to go.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball.
When the bounce serves you a clanger.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Hey, Rog, We got a Kia EV5. What do you reckon? You see my keys? The car stopped charging.
You snitch. Stay. What's massage mode? Oh, did we just become best friends?
Kia. Movement that inspires.
All the way west. You can't drive there. It lives in us. It's having skin and heart and nerve in the game. It's letting them hear you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. All the way west is driving 6 hours every home game. It pushes us onwards, upwards, sideways and together. All in, that's just the beginning. We are all the way west.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at WAFLW.com.au.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
What is Kevin up to?
They just got the Kia EV4.
Do you love me now, Brian? Oh, poor Kevin.
Come on, mate. Let's get you cleaned up.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Looks like I need a little TLC. Trust me, you don't want to see this.
Gas appliances should be serviced every 2 years. Now you know, you're good to go.
Second half of the ATCO WAFLW preliminary final coming your way live on the WAFL official YouTube channel in the third quarter thanks to Kia. East Fremantle already on the ground. Claremont, we're just saying off air, maybe getting an old-fashioned rev up from Jack Schwartz with the three-peat dream still on the line and of course a grand final rematch as well. So just taking a bit of extra time to come on the field, but East Fremantle back out there, so short and sharp. Basically continue what you've been doing, I imagine, from Dave Eames' side.
Yeah, I would have thought so. He would have just pumped them up, really encouraged and emphasised that they're doing a lot right. And Claremont, probably like you said, they're getting absolute spray. From my strength and conditioning point of view though, I wouldn't be thrilled the fact that they would have had zero warm-up to come out for probably the biggest quarter of the season for them, for Claremont, but I'm sure they'll figure out what to do.
Here they are, back onto the ground.
Better late than never.
So we're just saying off air as well, Patrice Devlin joining myself, Ethan Roth in commentary, that we feel this third quarter is really going to set up, obviously, the fourth quarter, what either team need to do heading into the fourth quarter, the premiership quarter as they like to say, here in the third as well. So Swan Districts watching on, hoping they bash and crash each other as much as possible in the preliminary final. And players after the main break back out there. 9-point lead to East Fremantle. They've led for the full duration of this one so far.
Ooh.
Husband goes up by herself in the ruck. Not sure that was intended for if Keeley wanted a longer run up in the end. There's a whistle off the ball and it's going to come the way of the Sharks.
That was an interesting first, centre bounce, not really centre bounce, but throw up. Keeley didn't even contest it.
Kinane. They started well to get a goal very early on through Jay Flynn. That's a mark taken on the other end from Henderson. Short to Bullis. This will be disposal number 18 for her. Good mark there taken by Evans on her left side. She takes the game on. Goes short there to Maynard, then to Sergeant Wilson. Wilson has to take a bounce, then looks up. Bit more airtime than Orsa would have liked in the end. Well done there, but might have been McKay. Now, this ball keeps on going, overrunning it there. Wilson Sieber in Webb, both trying to slap it their respective ways. Wilson Sieber had more time than she realised, wants to get it forward nonetheless. Going back to the flight, Repacholi. Not the first one-on-one these two players have had. Repacholi to herself, and then the goals! She wins the one-on-one, and as they did in the first quarter at this end of the ground, the Sharks again break stride and extend their lead in the preliminary final out of the main break.
Excellent work from Repacholi. How's the toe poke to herself and then kick it through for a goal? That was outstanding work for a taller player.
The fourth goal of the year, none more crucial than that. And Brooke Repacholi, who has probably added that forward game to her repertoire this year, was for a large chunk of last year calling a lot of East Freo games. She was sort of the mainstay ruck and maybe didn't have a lot of other traits, but she's been thrown forward, such as the development of Zoe Keeley as well, who's in the ruck again. So East Fremantle, 15-point lead, and that's exactly how they wanted to start this third quarter and the second half. Diving on top of it now, Evans.
And exactly not the start Claremont wanted.
Over the top, yeah.
Now, we spoke about it off air. Hayley Bullis has been exceptional, but some of her key mids around her probably need to step up and help her out a little bit here. A lot of Claremont's main ball winners haven't really touched it, other than Bullis.
Flynn. Now McKay off the outside of the boot, lost her footing, but luckily got the kick away before that occurred. Jezerski Brown, Wilson Sieber on her left. She set up the last one, and sometimes when you hack it forward like she did for the last one, it can set up a goal. Repacholi on the end of it now. Eddie was a hard handball to receive beyond the end of. Bullis getting back to help out. East Fremantle, they're playing with freedom at the moment and playing as if they have nothing to lose. Just have to be the better team on the day. Ladder position aside, previous matchups aside, although they obviously did win a game against Claremont earlier in the year. It's Claremont have dominated the ledger between these sides in recent times. 2 premierships, including 2022 and 2024 over East Fremantle. Webb wanted the free kick. Umpire wasn't buying into it whatsoever. Comes back the way of Henderson.
Dangerous kick.
That might be the first disposal for husband of the game. Bullis needs a few more to come with her at the moment, does Hayley Bullis, and back with the flight, doing everything she can. That might be a lasso ball brought back in. No benefit of the doubt given to McKay there. Held it for a large chunk, but not long enough.
Claremont are definitely under siege here in defensive 50. Great pressure here by East Fremantle.
Both these sides' depth have been tested throughout the year. Of course, East Fremantle losing Noah McNaughton to Fremantle earlier in the year. Claremont losing a key midfielder in Juliet Kelly, who's making an AFLW debut this weekend for Adelaide. So congratulations to her, but it's up to the Claremont players in their absence to win this game, and they're certainly behind the 8 ball at the moment. Fierce tackle applied over the top of Wheelstrut by Maynard. We'll have a ball up deep inside 50 for the Sharks.
Plenty of changes like you touched on for the Sharks as well in their list too, so very interesting dynamic, but they're playing to their strengths here, the Sharks.
Henderson, one out, good handball there to Webb. Wants to put the afterburners on and take a bounce, which she does. Gets the leg speed over Jezerski Brown. Then Crook in a one-on-one with Valentini. Valentini, well, she wants 100 games to be a memorable one, but East Fremantle looking to spoil the party away from home here, and Webb wanting to use the boundary line there as her friend.
A lot of Tigers girls with their hands on heads here. We spoke about off air, we thought the Tigers might be able to outrun the Sharks, but they look a little bit gassed at the moment.
Long way to play out still. 15 minutes left in this third term. Live on the WAFL official YouTube channel, as has been the case in 2026. Through the hands there of Bullis. Tight angles to work with, and Keeley. You feel like East Fremantle, they see other players tackling and it lifts other players around them. Full spirits, the blue and white, living by at the moment. Ball thrown in. Bullis again, relentless with the tackle. 19 disposals, 7 tackles for Hayley Bullis.
Playing an outstanding prelim final, Bullis is.
On the half-forward flank for the Sharks, Macaulay can't quite win it.
Oh, someone's gone down here for the Tigers.
Might be Webb, so we just keep an eye on that corner of the right-hand side on your screen. Again, clock will continue to run.
I can't. Is that Webb?
Just wait to see.
Hey, glasses.
Yeah, Georgia Webb it is. So hopefully she's going to stay out there. So obviously she's as competitive as they come, this Claremont lineup. So she will want to stay on the ground, do everything she can. Breaking through Harkin, trying to wind back the clock, although make a very good case. She's still in her prime, Jamie Harkin. Repacholi trying to hold front position. Nervous times for Hutton. Applies the Shepherd. Allows Maynard to kick on the verge of the 50. Now she fended off there, did Green. She's going to be caught there. A couple of Sharks swoop in. And it was a team effort there to get her to ground level. McCauley and also McKay. A couple of young Sharks taking the Tiger to ground. East Fremantle.
Good kick.
Game on their terms. Comes the way outside of the boot from Wilster. Is this another one for the Sharks? Well, they are daring to dream, and they might be doing more than that at the current stage. It is a stun to Remo Fitness Stadium at the moment. Still 13 minutes remaining in the third, but the Sharks could have one eye to the grand final.
Wilster looks stunned there as well.
And I think this is the point of the game where, as interesting as it sounds, because they have a 21-point lead, it actually couldn't be the most challenging, because there's going to be young players out there who could be thinking about next week. 21 points, it's still in the realms of possibility with 12 and a half remaining in the third, but it just makes you think they aren't home well and truly yet. Still a lot of time to play out, but we wait to see if they continue on here, if Claremont can bounce back.
Yeah, and if we can see Claremont bounce back, what does that then do to that young East Fremantle group too, who probably have never been under that sort of pressure before? So very interesting, 12 and a half minutes left of this quarter.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest upset of the season, albeit East Fremantle winning a game over Claremont, but not in circumstances like this. Back with a flight tackle. Everything going right at the moment for the Sharks.
They're just looking more composed with ball in hand as well, which is quite interesting to say against Claremont, who are usually, that is their strength.
Floater off the boot, but got some good purchase on it nonetheless. Taker, Wilstrup trapping it, going back to go forward. McKay getting involved. Flynn has to be quick with it, but she knew the pressure was coming. Decor, quick kick up to that goal kicker. In fact, it's not Wilstrup, it's Keelan. It was a mark in the end, so fortune favours the Brave. Reels it in there. Not conventional by any means, but whatever you do to move the ball forward. And in a stationary position is Wilson Sieber.
I think that's the first mark inside 50 we've seen today, and a beautiful kick in by Keely. You touched on she's taken her game to new levels this year. I think she's moved up to Perth permanently now, so great to see her sort of reaching her potential a bit more.
Just caught in two minds, Wilson Sieber. Too far out to score, into the pocket, and taking a crucial mark is Sergeant Wilson. She's been good today, as Ruby Sergeant Wilson. One of the few players to not taste a grand final for Claremont, albeit in her first year. Taking a running bounce there is Hutton. She'll go short. They just need to get a bit of field possession at the moment to Claremont. Green wants to go back inside.
It's a better sort of build up.
Careful ball, keeping it measured there to Orzul. Orzul started the final last week really well. Hasn't been as prolific today, but obviously much to the service that Claremont haven't really got. Harkin slams it forward. Even she was caught in two minds there, Jamie Harkin. Over the top, Repacholi getting back to help out. Leslie.
Brave kick.
It is a brave kick. Underneath it only favoured one player. Going to have to be quick. Viney, interesting decision. Got the kick away right when she needed to. Also going to step back on her right. Seaborn, the only goal kicker. Could have had a shot for goal herself, perhaps. On the non-preferred went Ortlip. Needs luck to go her way. And not sure anyone touched that. It's not going to matter though, as Webb sees it across the line.
Viney's looked a little bit slow today. She's been caught a few times. Probably should have just held up that mark there, but they've got it inside 50 now. They just need to lock it in.
What does Mac Webb want to do?
She's not sure.
Luckily in safe hands. And the kick is an interesting one, but the importance of playing in front as McCauley takes the mark. Short ball. Wilstra there, that last goal kicker in that right contest. Bonadeo with her youth against experience. Has to be quick. Viney popped a high one there, but not high in terms of free kick was concerned.
Lynn's hurt herself there, I think.
Maynard sends it forward. Can they get a mark? Leach getting back to help out. Bounce, just with heart in the mouth stuff there for a second by Webb. Great fend off there to Anderson. Anderson has plenty of strength as well, so to be able to fend off a player like that. Gives it over there to Atkins. Atkins hugs the ground line. Can they get a touch on it? Might come back the way that it came from through Sergeant Wilson.
Great little fend off there by Webb. Love seeing that.
Short ball now to Evans.
They're on inside there, Claremont, if they looked inside.
Skill errors are plenty, unfortunately, for Claremont. Plenty of East Fremantle players in the house. Great mark there taken by Atkins.
Should love that over Harkin as well.
Many battles amongst the big battle here today at Rebo Fitness Stadium. The prize, a grand final berth against Swan Districts next week at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Jezerska Brown might have just lost it in the sun there. Helps as well from a whole club feel when you've already had a win for the day in the Rogers Cup, getting into a grand final next week.
Definitely builds a bit more excitement.
Could be a double dose of Swans and East Free next week. Harkin want to have other ideas in mind. Takes a run and bounce. You get the feeling from a game's sake, Claremont need the next one. Still time enough though, with a full quarter after this coming up. 8 minutes in this one as well. Webb has a couple of Tigers on hand. With a push and shove there.
Harkin's definitely got a lot more involved this third quarter, as you would expect from a superstar.
Jamie Harkin doesn't know. Jamie Harkin doesn't know a season without a grand final. Of course, was playing with Subiaco in 2022 when Claremont won the first premiership amongst the three that they've won in the time since. Wanting to make it 4 now. Anderson had the one arm held, not enough to be a free kick. Not sure Racing got a handball on that. Anderson again applies the pressure. Handball out there. So East Fremantle just live to see another day for now in the form of this contest.
Everything on the line here for the Tigers in the next 7 minutes. And I think their forward pressure there showed that.
Don't want to be held goalless in any quarter of footy in a final. And they've just kicked the one today after being held goalless in the first quarter. Seaborn with the second, or with the goal to break that in the second. Great tackle there on top of Perry. Anderson comes down the way of Harkin.
No one on Harkin there.
Might have been Gilby who had to be quick with it. Might not be the worst result to lock this in for Claremont again and get another look at it.
They're all very loose at stoppage, which is quite interesting given they're both very good contest teams. Let's see what happens.
Comes down the way of Harkin, trying to drive her way through the contest. Back to go forward, around the corner, Anderson, not the required 15. And I think players probably shouldn't have too much of an argument there. It wasn't 15 by any means, although falling into the lap of a Claremont player. 20 points the margin. It might not seem like a lot, but for East Fremantle, it's worth its weight in gold at the moment. Anderson could have potentially had a snap on goal. Orsel has to be quick with it. McKay, is that a goal-saving tackle? And
great tackle.
Well, we often associate.
Oh, that's 50. Anderson just walked straight through the mark.
Potentially missed there in the chaos, but we talk about experienced players stepping up. It's the young players, and you often need your bottom 6 to 10. Not to say McKay's in that bracket, but in terms of any team in finals, it's often the depth players that can get it done for you.
Big tackle, particularly for a young kid as well, deep inside 50.
Down the line, only as far as Georgia Webb. Good to see she's back out there okay, and she plays her case for a 50 as well. Spalding actually probably should have been on the mark there, so maybe the footy gods just leaving both 50s aside, knowing that there could have been a potential one after that one. Anderson doing everything she can to milk the free kick. Couldn't have made it obvious for the umpire. Webb's going to be caught holding the ball, and gee, you feel for Claremont there. Perry pleads her case. Around the corner went McKay, getting involved again. Bit of miscommunication error there between Evans and Wilson.
Definitely gone up a level here.
Evans did well and taking the mark. It was almost uncontested in the end from Campo. Back into Claremont's lineup this year. Kick. Is it going to get enough curve back on? Anderson just has to leave it. And fortune favours the end for Claremont. They are not dying wondering. And if you thought East Fremantle were penciled into next week's grand final, just think again, because Claremont get their second goal with under 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter thanks to Kia.
Great mark by Campo to start with and beautiful kick.
Anderson was caught in two minds there, whether to leave it, and in the end, she almost used the goalpost as a bit of a guide there. We can hear a warning coming into East Fremantle. Not going to result in a free kick, but they do it again, and it will.
one to be mindful of, because you don't want to give away an anti-density free kick. That's often a free kick either the top of the 50 or the goal square, depending where you're at, and in a final, that could hurt you a lot.
So it's under 3 goals, but still, but over that 2-goal buffer as well. So still breathing room for East Fremantle, but you dare say they can't.
Claremont definitely have momentum at the moment, you feel.
They do. 3/4 time you feel might not come quick enough for East Fremantle. Those behinds as well that Claremont have, I think they're actually starting to add up in their favour as well. They've had the 7 scoring shots to the 6 for East Fremantle. Inside 50, another one coming up for the Tigers. McKay as well, playing beyond her years. She's going to get the 1-2 back as well. Off a standing step, had to clear the area. Can they get to it off the boot there of Wheelstraw, the last goal kicker for the Sharks, and wants to just move a bit more while holding the ball in as well, just to add an extra metre or 2 if it counts.
It's going for touch there.
3:30 on the clock in the third. We are well set up for a grandstand finish of the ATCO WAFLW preliminary final. Over the top went Harkin, hospital-like hand pass, but kept it in play. Her teammate also lost it in the process, and tensions starting to lift if they haven't done so enough already.
The Sharks again didn't have anyone go up the ruck there. Very interesting decision.
Keeley trying to find one of her rovers. Evans again on the left side. Expect to get the kick away. Is that holding the ball? It will be. And you feel like as a left footer, she should have got it on the boot a bit earlier.
Strange kick.
In the air though, might come back. Bonadeo. She is very, very eager to make this not her last game if AFLW is on the horizon for her. But equally, Mac Webb takes a mark on the half-back flank.
With the way Claremont play with their wingers, East Fremantle actually have a spare behind the ball here, so if they're smart, they should be able to control the ball. And if you're Claremont, you've got to stop kicking straight back to the spare.
They do kick back to a similar direction. Here's Rachel Ortlett, just the one behind today for her. Back inside to Campo.
This is better. Change lanes, it makes it really hard for the spare to actually be involved.
Harkin off to the milestone player in Valentini. She want to make it a 100-game to remember. The former Falcon, been there since 2019, seen all the success and the heartbreak in 2023 against this side in East Fremantle. Now, Webb was very, very quick to move that ball there, which, I mean, she's had Keeley, so not a bad option to go to, but in the end, at this stage of the game, Webb, don't really question too many of her decisions, but we'll wait to see if it comes back to bite her in any way, shape or form in the last minute 40.
Bit of rush of blood, hopefully, that's all it was. She's actually playing as a spare, so great for East Fremantle to have her free, but if you're Claremont, you probably want to square that one up.
Around the corner, was touched off the boot. Maynard knew it straight away. Big contest coming up, and guess who she's playing on? It's the way she plays. Sometimes you're going to take the good with the bad, and I mean, let's see if she has a case to answer for here. Bonadeo slipped through her fingertips, and maybe that decision of Mac Webb could be a good one. Jezerski Brown, massive contest coming up here, both sides of the ledger. Well done there by Hutton. Had to just go at full steam and into the heart of the ground. Now slingshot foot in. Maybe just the experience of Atkins, although not quite. She wants to play on as well. They're playing as if they're the behind team at the moment. Well, you can't question them too much considering this 14-point lead, and they do want to get it back out to 20 if they can convert here with an opportunity. Out the back. Again, a massive contest coming into it. Clean pick up there over the top. Here's an opportunity for Spalding. Can she pick up cleanly? Wants to go to McKay. She deserves a goal. 1-2. Spalding on the boot. It works a treat for East Fremantle. It works out that fast ball movement. And Max Webb says, you commentators, I'll do what I want when I'm one of my best players in this preliminary final. End-to-end footy in East Fremantle. That's a dagger in the heart of Claremont on the brink of three-quarter time.
That was great ball movement. Yeah, we were clearly wrong.
Hindsight, a wonderful thing there. And what about Spalding? The 1-2 as well. Two young players combining. And
look at the celebrations there. Look how much it means to them. We love to see that.
There's been massive goals today, but I think that is, in terms of the stage of the
context of the game, yeah.
That'll be the last say you'd say for this third term. Miller Spalding.
And it was messy, but it was messy with method as well. Like, they linked up quite nicely. Atkins knew what she was trying to do, and let's call it red time. Massive goal there for East Fremantle.
The Sharks are 20 minutes away from what would be a famous preliminary final win. Claremont, they're the ones who now have to play with nothing to lose with the current stage of the game. Swan Districts away at East Fremantle. They've had to do it the hard way, like Swan Districts did this time last year. Can it be straight sets for another team who finished on the top in the top two. And East Fremantle, we wait to see if they play with that fast flowing ball movement Dame Eames' side. They're young, they're inexperienced you could say, but they find themselves 20 points up, and Claremont have 1 quarter to rectify the three-peat dream. It's a massive last quarter of footy coming up here in the preliminary final. Do not go anywhere. We'll see who's meeting Swan Districts in the decider right after this.
Smell rotten eggs indoors? That could be a gas leak. Leave the area and report it to ATCO on 13 13 52. Now you know, you're good to go.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Hey, Rog, we got a Kia EV5. What do you reckon? You see my keys? The car stopped charging.
You snitch. Stay. What's massage mode? Oh, did we just become best friends?
Kia. Movement that inspires.
all the way west. You can't drive there. It lives in us. It's having skin and heart and nerve in the game. It's letting them hear you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. All the way west is driving 6 hours every home game. It pushes us onwards, upwards, sideways and together. All in, that's just the beginning. We are all the way west.
You don't need me to tell you.
Whether you're playing, coaching or umpiring, there's people of all ages, genders and backgrounds in our great game.
Find out more at wafootball.com.au.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
What is Kevin up to?
They just got the Kia EV4.
Do you love me now, Brian? Oh, poor Kevin.
Come on, mate. Let's get you cleaned up.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Looks like I need a little TLC. Trust me, you don't want to see this.
Gas appliances should be serviced every 2 years. Now you know, you're good to go.
Unfamiliar territory for the Tigers. Nothing more Jack Schwartz can do in terms of messaging direct to his players. They find themselves 20 points behind in the ATCO WAFLW preliminary final, and they just have not experienced it in the last 4 or 5 years, this Tigers group. We know East Fremantle knocked them off earlier in their home and away season, but they're the ones who have to play with nothing to lose the fourth quarter, thanks to the West Coast Eagles. Patrice Devlin joining myself, Ethan Roth, in commentary. Wow, it's all to play for the Claremont Football Club. It's all to lose to East Fremantle. I don't think we would have expected this in any way, shape or form heading into today.
Definitely not, and I can just imagine the message from Jack would have been to his players, keep nice and clear, like their best football is clearly good enough, so try and get back to that, but also a little bit, they got to throw caution to the wind now, like there's 20 minutes, otherwise their season's done, and if you're Dave Eames, it would just be pumping up your young kids because they played exceptionally today, and hopefully, for their sake, they can keep it going for another 20.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to overcomplicate things for Dave Eames' side because it has worked now, and albeit what's on the line and a grand final next week, you just want to keep things as usual as possible, even though they know everyone knows what's on the line. But 20 minutes in this final quarter thanks to the West Coast Eagles. East Fremantle and Swan Districts will do battle in the Rogers Cup, the Heart Sport Rogers Cup grand final next week. Will it be the same two sides? Swan Districts watching on. 20 points for East Fremantle. Claremont, their three-peat hopes hang by a thread. We're underway for the fourth quarter. First goal, as cliche as it sounds, so vital to this contest. And Claremont looks to go forward here, but a great tackle applied. It's going to be a legal disposal. Holding the ball, take your pick, and guess who? It's the player who set the tone for the day, and Jay Flynn.
Yeah, this first 5 minutes, like you said, first goal cliche, first five is very important here for either side. And great start by the Sharks.
Flynn heading out wide to Wilstra. They're playing.
She's got butter on her hands today.
So much
Wilstra,
confidence.
Hasn't marked a thing.
Kicked a goal in that third as well, out of the ruck contest. So every score, every goal worth its weight in gold here today at Revo Fitness Stadium.
Oop.
Seaborn onto the ruck. Interesting to see if that's a direct tactic from Jack Schwartz to change things up and move the magnets. Bounces over the head of a couple of players. Bullis out wide now to Harkin. Harkin short, can't quite find Ortlett. Been a bit of a story of their day in the preliminary final, has it, for Claremont. Even their top of the top players, their top echelon, Jamie Harkin, couldn't quite spot up her skipper.
Making some very poor decisions and executions, the Tigers today, but they've got 18 minutes to fix that.
Comes down the way there of Kinane, trying to get it out. She knew she'd be in trouble of diving on top of the ball. Comes down to Orzal, bit of rare time and space to work with. That was intercepted in the air. When they do get time and space, East Fremantle still make it a contest of it and an ability to chop it off and delay the process. Nonetheless, it goes inside 50. Anderson, been held goalless today, comes to the 100-gamer in Valentini, gets a handball out. Ortlett, can she snap on goal? This would be ultra important for Claremont. Is it there? Just the wrong side of the right-hand goalpost.
I thought that was a goal there. That would have been massive. Touch from their captain too, but not quite.
Ortlett, Anderson, both have been held goalless. Been a terrific performance by the back defence there by the Sharks. Plenty of their supporters in the house today as well from Moss Street and the good Grosser Park. Seaborn had to play on the defensive end this time. Held in.
East Fremantle, I would have thought, will try and slow this down, but we're clearly wrong at the end of the last quarter. But let's see what they do here.
Yeah, you blink and there's already been a couple of minutes in this fourth, so time is on the side of East Fremantle. If they get another one, well, you wouldn't want to say safer that it's 100% their game, but it would go a long, long way. Putting ahead of it again, Seaborn can't break free.
Yeah, 4-goal sort of margin in WAFLW is quite hard to overcome. Not impossible, but it would be quite hard considering Claremont have only kicked 2 goals of the day as well.
Harkin. Round the corner, she tried to take her opponent. You'd suspect Jamie Harkin will go around again, but obviously into her 30s now, so don't want to assume anything. But
she's getting married at the end of this year as well.
Yep.
So yeah, you would think she'd go around again, but
always a conversation with a lot of players at this time of year. So she want to,
especially when you've done everything.
Absolutely, certainly earn the right to go on as long as she can, or call it a day whenever she wants. You would think. Here's Evans inside 50. Perry takes the mark. The only inclusion for either side today. Former Royal, former Falcon as well. She's too far out to score. Up and under ball. Anderson's there. Can she shepherd it through? I say it's too far out to score. I'm proven wrong. And Claremont just staying in this one. What can that do for their belief? They're saying get up and about. And Perry, I think she's done more than enough if there is an impossible comeback to hold her spot for next week. But, gee, there's a long way to go for that to happen, and that'll help their cause, though, for that approach.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't think she quite had the distance there, but, some great bounces that end of the field. So, very good goal. Big momentum shifter, maybe, for the Tigers. Let's see how East Fremantle will respond now.
That extra point, 13 points. Who knows how handy that could be? But I know Anderson hasn't scored a goal today, and it's been a hard day for Claremont forwards, but she's shepherded through a couple of goals on the line, and I think we shouldn't underestimate the importance of that, just to see it through for her fellow forwards.
Yeah, those little things, they're what win you games of football, and particularly when you flag. So great to see her doing the small stuff really well, Beck.
The longest 15.5 minutes coming up, you'd think, in the lives of the East Fremantle players and officials out there.
Oh,
holding free kick, giving it away to the Sharks. Here comes Harkin. They're dangerous when they've almost got nothing to lose. They have everything to lose in a way with what's on the line, but in terms of how they have to play this last quarter. Inside 50, Green goes up for it, out the back, Valentini. Can she grab it? Has an attempt to do so. She want to get back on her right, Jacinta Valentini. Well done there by Rayson, a former Tiger herself. Around the corner went McKay. Atkins, can she track it to the line? It's gone beyond the arc, so just has to get fingertips to it, which she does. It's a game of fine margins here in the ATCO WAFLW preliminary final, and that was a case of that right there.
Used all of her experience for that one, just let it bounce a little bit and then stumbled over the line. Well done by Atkins. And her and Bullis had a good laugh about it.
Boundary throw in. And another
very
shallow one, so time off the clock. East Row won't mind it.
No, time is definitely the Sharks' friend. Oop, down. Falcon off Seaborn's head.
By Flynn. Big contest here. McCall 8 applies the Shepherd. McKay's stepped up tremendously today in more ways than one. Bonadeo loses it. Puts her head over it, still has to be quick. Got to kick out. Just travels the distance, although couldn't take the mark. Almost a throw there by Viney. Umpire put the whistle away. Green wants to turn back inside. Handball over the top. A kick might have been a better option at this time of the game. Here's Perry. Can she become an unlikely hero and kick two in a flash? She sure can. Do not leave her out of the side at any future game. She's kicked two when she was omitted last week for the first final, and wow, maybe they shouldn't have dropped her in the first place.
This is a great goal. Tigers all the Sharks girls all collapsed up on the contest and left Perry out the back, and she didn't need much more time and space and absolutely nailed home a goal. 2 in a row, 7 points.
We've seen this time and time again with Claremont, the ability to get in front, be close, win games of footy in the end. When the backs have been to the wall, you've got to be able to play 4 quarters of footy, as cliche as it is. And I mean, even last week against Swan Districts, they didn't win the game, but they held Swan Districts goalless in the 4th quarter. They kicked the goal themselves, so they know how to do it late as the crowd really gets into this one now. Seaborn's gone into the ruck. It looks like a winning approach so far because they've scored 2 goals off the back of it. She's going to get it back here. East Fremantle, what can they do? Backs against the wall, even though they have the lead to themselves. Here's Campo, inside 50 again for the Sharks. Leslie wants to find the boundary line. Almost a win if they can get it there for East Fremantle.
Green, Valentini, those sort of players for Claremont have really stepped up the start of this 4th quarter. Some of their really good role players are really starting to contribute. Sharks still have a spare in B50.
Anderson and Keeley, they just wait for the ball to come their way. The court has to get the kick away. Probably was the better option. She went to go the handball to a player that was in a stationary player position with a player on top of her in the 15-metre arc.
This time of game, territory is what the Sharks want, and very interesting decision to handle there.
Bonadeo, McCall, they both lose their footing. Bonadeo pleads her case for a free kick. Bullis was standing up when, I guess, their backs were to the wall earlier in the game. Decor had to hand pass. Claremont have the numbers though. Bullis sends it inside, floating into the side. Campo, Evans on her left side, around the corner. Just kicked the wrong side of the boot in the end, out of bounds on the full. And hard of the mouth of Sharks faithful there, because that could have quite easily been another major.
I mean, if it gets to it, the Tigers have experience playing extra time as well, which who knows how this game's going to end up, but that finals experience is definitely rising to the top at the moment, I feel.
Well, that could have been the case last week in the second semi-final when a draw could have been on the cards, but Claremont couldn't get one last point and taking them up underneath it. The safe hands of Mac Webb. I wonder what she's feeling right now against her former side. Didn't get the purchase she wanted. Gilby's had a quieter game, but I mean, it's only a 3rd game of WAFLW football. And No, it's not going to be 50. We're not going to get carried away here. I
That
thought
would
it
have
might
been a big
have been.
call.
Gilby
It was definitely there, I think.
puts it up to a dangerous position. Where are the Flyers? Webb's getting back to help out. And gee, I think they're starting to think, why did we let this player go? Mac Webb at the end of last year, albeit her own decision, but Mac Webb across the face of goal. Still think it's far too early to milk the clock, and you think you're going to have to score another goal to make sure of it. Might not be the case, but just to get it out to double digits once again.
You definitely want some breathing space, but Claremont might have something to say about that. Good to see Mac Webb take a breath though and control the ball a little bit there. I thought she was going to play on again, and with the way Claremont have set up behind the ball here, that's definitely not the go.
Players can see the scoreboard, as you can see top of your screen there as well, counting up. So an indicator on both sides what they need to do. Bonadeo takes a bounce in the process, then gets a kick away. Is that a mark taken? Perry, she's kicked 2 in this last
is that high?
quarter. Is that high? Could have been on the borderline. And, well, Perry, could she
Having a
kick
blinder.
a third or a fourth? We'll have to wait and see, but they can somehow get over the line. They have a lot to thank her for, that's for sure, for setting this up. Around the corner, bit beyond reach. Evans, great tap in to keep it in the field of play. Around the corner went Campos. Is a goal! Players salute. It's back under a goal. You just never ever want to rule Claremont out in any condition. It's in their song. It's in their theme song. Any conditions, they'll fight and fight. They haven't won it just yet, but they're back to a goal. And there's still 9 minutes, which is an amount of time in the preliminary final to work with.
That was a great snap by Campo there as well. Under that amount of pressure, this time of the game, to take a moment, snap it on the right foot. Umpire had a little bit of deciding whether it was a goal or not, but geez, 1 point.
They're led by 20 points at three-quarter time. They lead by just one solitary point now. Last week, Claremont lost by a point. The ATCO WAFLW just keeps going from strength to strength in these close encounters.
To tell you what, having been in this position last year where we were coming from behind at Subiaco, we didn't quite get there, but I think being up in this chair is much more comfortable than being out there.
Sure is. Keeley against the grain. What can East Fremantle do? It would be heartbreaking if they can't get over the line here with what's happened up until now. We all just take a breath with 8 minutes remaining.
Sharks need to get their hands on the footy. I haven't checked the disposals, but I think the Tigers have had basically every touch of the ball this quarter.
Long sweeping handball came out, diving on top.
Oh, Harkin's down here. He's tough as nails, so I'm sure she's fine.
To get up. And of course, the clock continues to run. She'll be okay.
Whack on the ribs. Nothing she's not used to, I'm sure.
Around the corner. This is the time of the game. I know there's tired bodies out there. You get your best mids, you get your best players out there. We see Harkin, we see Orzul in there, we see Sergeant Wilson-Viney, the experienced campaigners, and likewise on the other end for East Fremantle, but it's the Tigers who win it. Harkin stepping up a notch. Here's Evans, she's been crucial as well.
This is what they've been missing all day.
Next link in the chain. Here's a chance, critical part of the game, going back to the flight. Which way does it bounce? It's going to be a behind. It's going to be a behind.
Scores are level.
Scores are level.
Oh dear.
7 minutes remaining. They've cut it back down from 20 points at three-quarter time to level the scorers. They should be in front, judging by, you can see the amount of shots that they've had, 12-7. But the accuracy of East Fremantle coming to the forefront. The skill error coming to the forefront as well. Taking a bounce, Green. Does she want to be the hero herself? And brought off a bit more than she could chew. Thought that would have been holding the ball. Not to be. They open up the far side of the ground. Pressure from Spalding, drops it. Sergeant Wilson puts her head over it in the end.
Scary defending here for East Fremantle, under a lot of pressure.
They just want to hold it in, and you don't want to say any score will do, but you almost want to at this stage, because East Fremantle haven't looked likely to get it to the other end of the ground.
No, they've just shut up shop almost, East Fremantle, this quarter, it feels like.
This was the fear, wasn't it? This was the fear for East Fremantle. That, not to say they've gone into their shell, but the pressure of a preliminary final.
Against a very seasoned finals team who love winning. Claremont love winning. Everyone loves it, but they just want to win everything. And
it does become addictive when you just keep getting there and ripping it out of the ruck. Anderson, key reason why she's here in the first place. Around the corner, great smother there by Anderson. They look to hold this in. Leslie, Johansson, Has to be careful with it. Now, umpire says give it to me. Jack Schwartz wouldn't have loved this, get the way the game played out, but in a way, it does provide you the ability to just go out and play with nothing to lose in the fourth quarter. So, not a blueprint that many would love to go by, not Claremont by any means. It's all squared up. Johansson trying to tap it herself. Around the corner, Bonadeo. Here comes Ortlip at full steam, but Keeley going back with the flight.
Great mark.
Claremont going to find a player in every avenue of the field here at Revo Fitness Stadium. Almost a smother on the boot there from Ortlip as well.
This is also risky though, because East Fremantle do have to play, but you also don't want to cough one up the other way, because a goal behind is not where they want to be either. Back in board. Seems like Claremont have the extra number in every contest at the moment. Campo, she's going to ask McKay to go with her. She gets it on the boot in the end. Is it just a case of if Claremont get a point? Get a point. Do not get it to extra time. I mean, if you said that they'd get it to extra time at three-quarter time, they'd take that in a heartbeat, but... No, definitely would be going for any score will do, like you said.
East Fremantle been involved in some very close games. Round 18, ATCO kicked the winner last week, 4-point win in the elimination final. Claremont likewise had a 1-point heart stopper in a loss against Swan District. So we're watching on to see who their opponents will be next week. Preliminary final action.
Swans would be happy if it goes to extra time, because that's 10 more minutes they got to play.
Certainly would.
In quite warm conditions.
Keeley. Grayson needs to be careful here. Viney by her side. Orzul expected to get on the boot. Taylor Orzul, has she snuck this in from behind? She hasn't. A few metres perhaps between a grand final and not. Well, we'll wait to see, but looks like Lynch perhaps. Tessa Lynch.
Kicks across the face in big finals. Got PTSD from her.
Down the line. They don't have a heap of options here.
Seaborn. Her last quarter's been amazing.
She's kicked the first. They threw her into the ruck, which I don't think East Fremantle were quite expecting. Sun in the eyes of bullets. She's done everything today. Stays in the contest though. Anderson over the top. Can East Fremantle break out of jail for now? She's going to have to take a bounce. She does. Looks like to caught out there. Foot race on Wilson, Seba and Eddie. Side by side. Does extra time. Becken dived on top of it in the end. Umpire saying, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Got to keep your feet there if you're East Fremantle. Can't be going to ground.
Less than 3 minutes on the clock. You'd probably say
no one went up
that
again.
Extra time could be on the cards here. No one, absolutely no one on Campo.
Sharks are really
she points
struggling
long.
here.
They've got the leg spread. East run out the back. Anderson just has to get a boot to it. Just has to get anything to it in the end. Oh my goodness. She has a smile on her face because she knows it's still in a dangerous position.
She just dropped an absolute sinner.
Now, do you punch this through? Obviously not on the full. Do you do anything if you're Claremont? You'd have to say so. Anything. A few metres perhaps. A few metres. Anderson, just
rush
get it through. Just rush it in the end.
Take it over.
Take it over. Perry. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to kick a goal herself.
That was silly.
That was silly. You want a goal to seal it. I understand that. You don't want to give the ball back into the hands of East Fremantle, but it gives them back the ball anyway.
With no score now, so I thought Mac Webb looked very close to rushing that over the line too, which would have been a very strange decision from the Sharks. But yeah, if you're the Tigers there, just knock that over. They keep it in the field of play, keeping us on edge here at Revo Fitness Stadium. Quick ball to Harkin. Is this a chance for Orzul? Can she pick up cleanly off the deck? East Fremantle, you think extra time's almost a win for them from here, just so they can reset themselves. So they can breathe.
Bullis on tied legs, left, kick around the corner. Anderson, can she make it up for herself? Beck Anderson goes to ground level. Perry kicked 2 goals this quarter. She's wrapped up. Final 2 minutes under remaining. It's at the opposite end for East Fremantle, and they will want to survive in however way, shape or form at the moment. You'd almost not want to concede here, even if you get the ball back in your hands.
Sharks defenders are doing quite well, but they are under the pump.
Seaborn, can she attack it at full steam? Not quite. East Fremantle want a ball up. They want a ball up.
If you're the Sharks, you just pretend to get a cramp or something here.
Less than 90 seconds away if we don't go to extra time to find out who's going to meet Swan Districts in the decider. Jezerski Brown runs her full measure. Can they go end to end? Wilson Seaver didn't take the mark, but she kept her footing, comes back. And it's actually a win probably for East Fremantle. They get it out of the 50.
I'm nervous and we're not even playing.
Still in over halfway for Claremont. A minute on the clock.
Oh.
Webb against her sister out there. I wonder how the family's feeling outside of the boot. And if you're Sienna Leslie,
you don't want that ball back if you're Sienna Leslie.
at what point do you settle for extra time? At what point do you settle for extra time if you're East Fremantle? Do you go end to end and try and risk a turnover at the other end? Here comes Macaulay, the former Royal. Any score would do it for East Fremantle. Can they hold on? Claremont, this time it's their time to hold on. Out the back, Macaulay, can she rip it? Any score would do for East Fremantle. Diving on top of the footy, umpire blindside and says, give it to me. Are we going to extra time in the preliminary final? It appears that way.
Oh, God.
Almost out of breath here
Look
after
at all the numbers down here.
4 quarters have almost been complete. We are going to go to extra time unless there's a free kick. Anything disastrous for Claremont,
Sharks
as it was in the final series last year in week 1. It's week 2. We are going to extra time. Siren will sound. Extra time. Keely actually celebrated. Keely celebrated there. She didn't quite realise it's going to be 4 minutes each way in the preliminary final.
Wow.
So players will take a break here. And momentum's with Claremont. So
wow, this is massive. Rebo Stadium in finals just beckons for extra time.
it sure does. Claremont, you think back to Anderson there and Perry. I know she kicked 2 goals to get it to that point.
It's the little moments though, right?
Just knock it through. Just knock it through.
I think that's who they're getting around down here, Perry. Yeah, probably should have just rushed that over. But they live to see, they were 20 points down at 3/4 time. So to get to this point is massive from the Tigers.
Everyone just takes a breath here. East Fremantle, well, still they haven't won the game, but they've got away with one in a sense of just resetting as the players go to their respective huddles, and you have to reset, you have to put it past you. This next 4 minutes each way is the game amongst itself, as if you have to start the game all over itself.
Essentially, this first 4 minutes is almost the most important. Can talk from experience. This first 4 minutes, you need to score so that in the second one, you basically just shut up the game, which Claremont did really well against us last year at Subiaco. I'll be very interested. So they've got the experience. They've been here before. It is very challenging if you don't know what to do. If you're East Fremantle, this is brand new. Like, who's ever played extra time? The biggest game of your season, and you've got to play for an extra 8 minutes. So, wow, we're in for a ripper.
I don't want to dissect East Fremantle before the result has come through, but at 3/4 time, it's easy to say, but did they sort of think we've got this? Of course, credit to Claremont, but 20 points up, it seemed somewhat, I don't want to say unlosable, but somewhat we didn't think it would get to this stage.
They very much went into their shells, I feel. The first 5 minutes, I felt like the Sharks actually were on top, and then Claremont just went on a roll, and the Sharks couldn't do anything to stop it, and that's why we're in the position we're in now. So, yeah, wow. We can see Jack moving the magnets. Be interested to see what he does here. And on the flip side, what does Eames do? Do you flip Teakle back forward to try and get a goal, or do you leave it down back to make sure the Tigers don't score against?
Plenty of matchups to weigh up here. Seaborn, that move into the ruck for her was outstanding. Both Jack Schwartz and obviously Hannah Seaborn to be able to do that herself. And everyone just takes a breath, including us here. What a finish it's been. We're still none the wiser as to who's going to meet Swan Districts. And Swan Districts, you could say they're the winners of this in a way. They're getting some extra minutes into whoever their opponents are going to be with the week off, such as the benefits of a week off and the game, the way that's panned out in the preliminary final.
Jay Flynn's getting her calves rubbed down.
Getting some word through as well, in case you're not aware of how the extra time scenario works. So it's 4 minutes each way, no break, so they'll just go to their respective positions as a mini break, if you will, and it will continue on from there. And if it's after that, then I believe we'll go to golden points, which will continue until we get a score. So if it gets to that point, we could be here all day, which you wouldn't rule out. You would not rule out a draw after extra time as well, but certainly momentum with Claremont at the moment. Dave Eames talking to his side there. They've been the surprise packet this year.
What surprises have they got left for us? WAFLW finals, WAFLW competition team are very happy the last 2 years. The finals have been absolutely rippers, and this game's no different.
Yeah, it was 4 points as a total combined margin last year across the whole final series. And this year, 5 points up until now. 4-point win for East Fremantle last week, 1 point win for Swan District. So, again, 5 points under a goal collective margin before next week as well. And we wait to see who is going to meet Swan Districts as well. It's been a day that's for East Fremantle. Joy in the Rogers Cup. Joy for the most part of the WAFLW. Nerves late as well. And potentially got away with one at Claremont. Should they have rushed one through? Time will tell.
This is where your experienced players really make a difference. So for the Sharks, they obviously don't have as many, but this is where your Ash Atkins, Teakle even, I know it's weird calling her an experienced player at 19, but really they need them here right now.
I guess the good thing for coaches as well is about extra time is you do get a final message to your players, and of course won't get the case.
I'm assuming you'd probably coach from the bench too, because you're never going to get any runner out there fast enough in 4 minutes. And as we just saw, 4 minutes goes in the blink of an eye in WAFLW, so let's see. And
they're probably, I mean, Claremont, as we said, were in the thick of extra time last year, but they're probably only getting told the scenario of how long the quarters are or the time is in extra time themselves, East Fremantle. So it's a lot for everyone to weigh up in the thick of the moment. You know, you come into any game of footy, a final, you think we're either going to win or lose, which obviously is the case today. It's not like they have to come back next week, but having said that, you don't prepare yourself for anything above the typical 4 quarters.
No, and you talk about you just need to play 80 minutes of football and then you get thrown extra time. Well, this is, here we go. Teakle's on the bench. That is a very interesting decision from the Sharks. Why you would not start your best players on the ground is beyond me.
Extra time to separate these two. The WAFLW just keeps throwing up more scenarios. Swan Districts to wait. East Fremantle holding on in the last passage play of that 4th quarter to make it extra time. They've had 5 less scoring shots in this game so far. Down the way of the Tigers. Of course, both teams still remaining the way that they were kicking in that 4th quarter.
Looks like Mac Webb started in the middle there as well, so one little magnet change.
Bullis, key reason why they came back there, stepped up before others sort of joined her when they got their rhythm moving. Spalding had a nervous moment in the last quarter where she dropped the ball, but luckily hasn't come back to bite her just yet.
East Fremantle also had that anti-density warning early, which keep an eye on that, see what they do there.
Wilson Sieber hacks it forward, foot race on. Eddie's there at the coalface. Comes down, holding free kick, should be on the cards there. They want to take advantage, they won't want to, even though Johansson kicked it. She's actually running to see if the advantage is going to be taken. Now she knows that it won't be, but it looked like she was running there to see if she could take advantage from where it left her boot.
Oh.
And she'll bring it back.
That was a horrible kick.
Of course, again.
No, stopping on the
reiterate,
clock.
Clock continues to run.
Big moment here.
Canane, experienced player, had a stint at Casey in the VFLW before coming back to East Fremantle. Missed out in the 23 premiership, did Amber Canane. So her own motivation amongst many storylines today.
She's also been a train on, I think, at Freo as well. So
yeah,
in and around that sort of experience and top echelon of players in the WAFLW.
It's at the ground that East Fremantle, at the end that East Fremantle want it to be. Repachol is in there, Spalding side by side. At the bottom of that pack, Canane. In the blink of an eye, we're already nearly at half-time of extra time.
I know Golden Point obviously doesn't come in until the end of it, but essentially the whole of extra time is next score wins. Real backyard rules, just get it across the line.
Umpire says, I'll have it.
They need some movement through the stoppage if you're East Freo, and obviously if you're Claremont, you don't want that.
Out there went Bonadeo. Mark taken by Flynn.
She can kick it from here.
She can, if anything, is to go by in recent times.
Space.
The first of the day, short ball, but clean pick up by Wilson Sieber. again, want to iterate that any score is helpful for East Fremantle. Repacholi in front, there's a whistle.
Oh!
There's a whistle for Brooke Repacholi.
She just needs to
take her time here.
foot.
Needs to understand that there's still a half of extra time to come. So take all the time you want to, in my opinion here. You almost feel, just judging this first slot of extra time, that break couldn't have come at any better time, as obvious as it
had all the
sounds
momentum, didn't
for East
they?
Fremantle. Any score would be very beneficial, but a goal would be worth its weight in gold. Brooke Repacholi slots the best goal. No, she doesn't. It hits the post. I've gone early, but nonetheless, it is a score that gets them back in the front. The crowd was cheering as soon as it left the boot.
It looks good.
I want to know that the players surely realise that Claremont have to realise there's still
They've still got another 4 minutes.
I'm sure they've been told.
Deep breaths here for the Tigers.
But they've still got 4 minits up their sleeve, so it's unlikely they'll be able to go end to end, although Harkin wants to prove me wrong there. Hand pass there from Ortlip over the top.
This is their best passage.
Evans going to be caught though, so has to get it on the boot. Great smother there by McKay, and that will be the siren. Half time of extra time. So
big from McKay there as well.
Repacholi couldn't quite slot the goal, but does put East Fremantle into the lead.
Now they just got a quick change of ends. If you're the Sharks here, basically you just want to clog everything up, slow every ball movement down, make everything a stoppage. And if you're Claremont, you want the exact opposite, obviously. Let's see, who's got 4 minutes left in their legs?
So it looks good off the boot from Repacholi, didn't it? Just hit the woodwork. But it could be a point that is worth its weight in gold, as I said.
They haven't kicked many today, but that could be the best one of their season.
We see Valentini come on back on the ground for Claremont, the 100 game. She's not going to forget her 100 game anytime soon, but I guess it's just a positive or a negative emotion that will be attached to that.
Well, she kicked a crucial point for them last year in that game that went to extra time, Valentini, so let's see what she's got.
Second 4 minutes of extra time. Siren sounds. If it's all tied up after this, we're going to go to golden score. Thrown up once again. Orzul. They had the momentum deep in that first passage of 4 minutes. Great mark there taken by Green. Green around the corner, trying to protect the space. Does her own coming. If there's any time and place or any person to do it, it would be Ortlip. Similarly to how they got the ball back there. Is it going to be rush ball? And it's all tied up. All tied up once again.
Oh, that was off a Sharks boot there. I don't know what she was doing.
Well, at least they've seemingly learnt their lesson of getting it through in whatever way, shape or form.
They got to go again here now, though.
3 minutes
Roll
on the
the
clock.
dice. Surely you're going straight up the middle. Oh, that was an absolute horrible kick.
All the work over the off-season leading up to this, all the drama for East Fremantle leads up to this last 3 minutes.
It seems fitting that their prelims full of drama too.
And McCauley couldn't have made that more obvious to go over the line.
Big
Perry
call.
was
Big
there
call.
by her side, so the pressure closing in deemed that it wasn't insufficient intent.
Let's see what the umpires do here, if they put the whistle away or not.
It's where Claremont wants it.
Oh,
Sergeant Wilson, Ruby
oh,
Sergeant
no.
Wilson, new recruit in season 2026. It's a down the field free kick, is it? Or is it where it's been from kick? It's a free kick either way, and it's as it happened, not after. But you're not complaining if you're Claremont.
No, and she's got the distance here, Rubes. Big moment, new recruit. Imagine if she didn't make the distance or something.
Clock continues to run. You've got to get your tall timber on the last line of defence if you're East Fremantle.
And you can't let it go through.
They've denied Claremont being able to score on the last line many a time. Ruby Sergeant Wilson, I dare say, to get Claremont through to the ATCO WAFLW Grand Final next week. She hasn't made the distance. It stays in play. Lynch is down there for East Fremantle. It comes the way of Webb against her former side, out of bounds. Out of bounds. And maybe now, getting it to golden score would be another win and a win itself for East Fremantle.
She almost would have been better, almost arcing around than Sergeant Wilson.
A minute 30 on the clock. You could not script this in the preliminary final, especially with the way it was heading at three-quarter time. with a 20-point lead to the Sharks.
Oh,
They're
that was nearly in danger.
trying to survive now. Well done by Seaborn. Had to go back to go forward to Orzul. Could have been a dangerous tackle perhaps. Comes away of Evans
Great
outside of the
smother,
boot. Well
Jay
done there
Flynn.
by Flynn. From start to finish, Jay Flynn again making an impact. Leslie in there. Massive contest coming up. Good kick, although it's going to come away with Bonadeo. A minute on the clock for Claremont. Any score would do it, you'd think. Bounces the wrong way there of Ortlip. Comes through Perry. Can she kick a third late? Not quite now.
Big tackle. That was a massive tackle. Zoe Keeley, I think. Great from the ruck woman.
45 seconds. Less than that by the time this is balled up. Second part of extra time comes the way of Flynn. You just want to bang it as far out of there as you want to. Comes the way of Wilstra. Can they go end to end and deny it going to goal and score? Teagle's been thrown forward. It's a matchup we said that could happen. Webb's by her side. Going short, under 30 seconds on the clock.
They're out here.
Paddock stations aplenty. Seaborn combines there. Has to go inboard to Bonadeo. Two State 18's teammates linking up. Over the back. It's Ortlip. Any score will do. One-on-one. Any score will do. Any score will do. It's a free kick. It's a free kick.
Who's it going to?
Beck Anderson. No, sorry, it's not. It's a free kick, but it's not the way of Anderson. I thought Claremont were guaranteed the win.
Golden point.
We are going to golden score, but the players will continue on. It's extra time, but there's no stoppage time, so it does continue on.
Here we go.
Any score from now on gets either side through to the grand final. And we take a breath. It's as deep as you could possibly imagine for Claremont.
This will be heartbreak for Israel if it just bubbles out the back.
Both teams would have been told that this could be on the rise, and any score, the next score, we go until that happens. Out the back now for Wilson Seabuck. Now, because there's no benefit of time, that doesn't matter now.
No, you can take your time if you've got
it. You can be as slow as you want. Seaborn working hard in the middle. You get the feeling it's in favour of Claremont at the moment. It's at the end that they want it to be. Bullis. Short ball to Valentini in her 100th game. She's there at the coalface.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, it was extra time. Of course, finals week 1 last year, as we said, but did not get to the final stage of that and the last stage that's possible in the form of golden score. I wonder if the players know as well that it's golden score
that it would just keep going
rather than golden goal as well. Sometimes
yeah,
that could be something.
I'd hope they would have got that message.
Fingers crossed.
But this could go for another 10 minutes.
Around the corner. Any score will do for Claremont. Any
go.
score will do for Claremont. Kick a point for Valentini. Just get anything. She just lost it there. East Fremantle holding their nerve for now. And the mark taken.
I'm not sure I'd be hitting this one in the middle.
Risk versus reward. Can
Is that in the back?
Deemed there for
pick it up.
Wilson Seabuck. And there's a push. It was a delayed whistle. So now East Fremantle can reset
They got
themselves.
to get their numbers down here for East Fremantle, and same for Claremont. You want to clog it up. But
it could be almost getting to a point of an extra quarter in terms of the time between the fourth quarter to now.
Well, we've probably gone an extra 2 minutes already in this.
On top of the 8 minutes that was already in extra time before now. Wilstra
just pushes her
over the top.
Teagle's dropping back deeper inside 50.
I sound like a broken record, but any score will do. And just get it over the line however you can. Bullis.
Is that holding the ball?
Had a lot of time. Off the deck they go. And it's a mark taken. Who else?
50?
Who else but Tiani Teagle?
This could be the game.
Tiani Teagle, you cast your mind back to a fortnight ago at the Good Grocer Park, where East Fremantle were already in the finals, but it was her winning goal with less than a couple of minutes left to seal it. It's the home elimination final. The captain, any score gets them through to a grand final to crush Claremont's dream of a three-peat. It's the best goal Tiani Teagle's ever kicked. East Fremantle and Claremont's run of a three-peat hope. East Fremantle are through to the 2026 ATCO WAFLW Grand Final against Swan Districts.
Look at these pictures.
They had the game on their terms for the whole game up until the fourth quarter, really, where they let a 20-point deficit slip. Claremont heartbreak for them. They go out in straight sets, but East Fremantle, the surprise packet of season 2026, are through to the final stage of the season. They'll be at Fremantle Community Bank Oval next week against Swan Districts in the decider, and Tiana Teagle is out of breath. Any score did it, but it's fitting that it was straight over the goal umpire's hat.
Oh, the captain, she got asked by a lot of clubs to move teams, but she stuck fat with East Fremantle, and now she's just kicked them into a grand final. You can't write the script any better than that, can you?
We are just about out of breath here. Went to golden score, golden point, however you will. Teagle did it with a major of extra time. So after 4 minutes each way, after a full game after that.
They're going to be exhausted tonight.
Wow, there's not enough superlatives to really sum up what we've just witnessed. We'll look at some of the key contributors on both sides. Claremont, you don't obviously want to put it down to one individual. You have to credit them for the way they came back, but my mind straight away goes to Beck Anderson at the end of the game. Of course, you do not want to put it on one individual. And Claremont, I mean, she's a key reason why she's at this stage, second in the Joanne Huggins leading goalkeeper award. But
and then Perry not rushing that other one over. She bobbled it back in.
Again, key reason why they got to this stage in the game is late inclusion. But you just feel, even late there, Claremont, they just had to get it behind, and they didn't. And I've never seen a team be able to be so desperate for a continual amount of time on the last line of defence like East Fremantle. They defended with their absolute lives.
Their backline coach will be thrilled. They defended gallantly. That whole last quarter, really, it was in Claremont's possession, and you know, all the momentum was with the Tigers, but they held on just long enough, and even that first period of extra time, they were under the pump and they did exceptionally well, and they've come away with the result. It's, like you said, there's not much we can really say now. It's just amazing game of football. Exactly what you want from a final, really.
Full time, 5-8-38, Claremont after a full stage of extra time, and went to golden score, 7-2-44. The accuracy on display for East Fremantle as well. Sorry, they had 9 scoring shots to just the 13 rather for Claremont as well. Hayley Bullis tried her absolute heart out, 36 disposals, 10 tackles. Jamie Harkin as well, 24. India Bonadeo, 22. Jay Flynn, 22, including the first goal as well at the start of the day. Mac Webb, well, the ultimate bragging rights in a final series against her sister. The family will be heartbroken but also thrilled at the same time as well. Megan Green, 18 disposals as well. Olivia McKay, she stepped up.
Olivia McKay, that big tackle as well. I think that was in the fourth quarter. You know, for a kid, an exceptional game from her. Mac Webb, Jay Flynn from East Fremantle, and obviously Teagle came in clutch for them. 2 really, super important goals in the context of their game and of their season as well. And just exceptional from her. You
could honestly go through a lot of the players from each respective lineup, but as far as goal kickers, Campo kicked 2, Perry kicked 2 late goals as well. She was a key reason why they were back in the game. Teagle with 2 as well, 1 in general play, as we can see on screen here. Not taking anything away from that goal, but the second one, obviously, that's going to be the narrative and the storyline of the skipper salutes.
Well, yeah, that snap, sort of stemmed a bit of the flow that the Tigers had, and then obviously that last goal of the game. Great mark, great passage of play really from East Fremantle, because again, they're under the pump. Claremont had the ball inside their forward half of the ground for all of that time on, I suppose, what you want to call it, when there was no clock left, but for them just to slingshot it down the other end and then get it to Teagle. They wrote the script perfectly.
They sure did, and just finishing off those goal kickers, Repacholi with 1 goal too. Kicked a point in extra time to get it to a bit of a lead before Claremont drew it back as well. She was critical in the ruck, and Jasmine Johansson off the deck, as well as Miller Spalding. Miller Spalding, that goal, got it up to 20 points for 3/4 time. You thought there that East Fremantle were well and truly home. Not to be here at Remo Fitness Stadium. So we cast our eye to next week.
Next week is...
First of all, the Rogers Cup, the Hart Sport Rogers Cup. East Fremantle and Swan Districts. It was less than a kick that separated them in the second semi-final. Swan Districts going through. East Fremantle doing the hard way in both grades. But Swan Districts, they'll be in the Rogers Cup against East Fremantle. One of the first years we actually haven't seen West Perth in the Rogers Cup.
No, that is true.
Well. So a bit of a change-up as well. A bit of a change-up in the ATCO WAFLW with Claremont not there for the first time since 2021. Swan Districts, they watch on today. They'll go in as warm favourites again, but East Fremantle, the underdog mentality, will serve them well as well, and wait to see if next week, if today was their grand final, but of course it almost was a grand final because the way that it played out. And
that's the beauty of prelims, right?
The game of the year, by far, in the WAFLW. Patrice Devlin, it's been a pleasure to share the commentary box with you in a game that went the full length in more ways than one. And appreciate your insights and your special comments today, and hopefully do it many times in the future beyond this season. So thank you very much, and I might get a quick tip from you at an early stage for the grand final.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. An exceptional game to be involved in, and much prefer to have been on this side of it. I think Swan District's take it out. All credit to East Fremantle. It's going to be a great game, but I think just their experience and the week off will bode well for them.
They've had a brave run, East Fremantle. Let's see if it can continue for one more week. What a day it's been at Rebo Fitness Stadium. East Fremantle into the grand final for both their respective sides. And Ethan Roth signing off here from Rebo Fitness Stadium. Next week, catch the WAFLW Grand Final on 7+ at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. The Rogers Cup on the live WAFL official YouTube channel. We'll see you next week from Fremantle Community Bank Oval.